I'm Haley from Gallifrey Public Radio, a Doctor Who fandom podcast and part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 396 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, March 22nd, 2020. I am Chris. Like normal, I'm here. But also, like normal, my fellow co-hosts are joining me, including one, Mr. Anthony Bachman.
What's up, bitches?
And, of course, the one, the only, Willie D. Nelson.
Oh, that's me. Hey, how's it going?
That is you. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. We're here to hopefully give you some geeky shenanigans to help lighten everyone's mood. And hey, you're stuck at home anyway, so why not watch our stuff?
I mean,
true.
I have a friend coming over today.
Oh, that's not social distancing, Willie.
Okay.
Actually, I had a friend come over yesterday, and I got my mohawk.
So I do have
Better one person at my house than that person going to a salon that's full
true.
of people.
It's true. So I do have a question for you, though. As most places are kind of told, hey, stay home unless you don't have to. A lot of people are working from home right now. My question for you, both Willie and Anthony, when is the last time you put on real pants? This is an important question. Pajama pants don't count as real pants. I'm talking like jeans or khakis to go do something.
Friday.
I
went out to Nampa and saw my parents.
Okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday? Well, mostly because I had a gout flare up, so I haven't been able to leave that much. So yeah, it's better. It's getting better. Still walk weird. Not so much painful, just stiffness. So yay. So that's why I've been kind of stuck.
For me, it was Friday because I still have to go to work. So they luckily relaxed our dress code. I can wear jeans to work now. So I wear regular pants during the week and then pajama pants the rest of the time.
Nice.
What do you normally wear? Dress pants or
Yes.
or khakis?
Normally I have to wear khakis or slacks when I go to work. So
You know what? I'm gonna say khakis are the superior pant to blue jean.
But blue jeans are more comfortable.
Yep.
You got to remember, I'm an old man
Jeans
in my mid-30s, so I don't do the whole skinny jeans thing. This is generally the fairly baggy, comfortable, worn jeans that I've had for probably 10 years.
Chris, no men do the skinny jeans thing.
Well, I mean, they do.
No.
I mean,
Those
if you got a
Those
penis, you're a man. This ain't
you're wearing
quantum
skinny
physics
jeans-
we're talking here.
If you're wearing skinny jeans, there's no penis in there.
Oh, way to gatekeep there, buddy.
Yep. Skinny jeans are for little girls and rock stars. Unless you're on the stage of a band.
Wait,
No.
are you saying the rock stars are not men?
No, they go past it with the extra
they get a
big
pass?
dicks because they're
I mean,
rock stars.
I
yeah.
think they're getting enough on the side. They're proving that.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to be a man to get some on the side. I mean,
Skinny jeans about
anyone
the dumbest shit ever.
I mean, I think they are too. I'm enjoying the fact that I get to wear jeans all the time. I don't know when everything goes back to normal, which I'm sure no one else knows either.
well, how about this? Let's put it a better way. Chris, people of our size can't really pull off skinny jeans. How's that?
That's fair because nobody wants to see that. That's like muffin top to the extreme if I had to do that.
I
Unless
mean,
you look like Iggy Pop, you shouldn't even be trying to put on skinny jeans.
how tall are you again, Chris?
6'3", 6'4", depending.
All right. So you probably have the same problem I do finding jeans that are long enough.
Yes.
Wait, depending on what makes your height change
If I'm
between
slacking.
6'3" and 6'4"?
And you're actually taller
How
in the morning
you're-
than you are in the
you're-
afternoon.
Your leg length and your abdomen length, I mean, people, that does vary.
Most of my height is in my back, not my legs, though. I have a long torso.
I think it's pretty evenly split. Like, what size length do you normally have? Like,
I have a
what's
30-inch
good?
inseam.
Is that leg length?
Leg length. 30
Yeah, that's
inches.
leg length. That's weird. Yeah, because I wear 32s and I'm only 6'1".
Yeah, my length is in my back.
Chris has got some
32s.
short ass legs.
32s are all right on me, but when I sit down, high waters. 34s are my sweet spot, but it's so hard to find them in my size.
Yeah.
I think I'm like in the waist, I think I'm like, what am I, 40, I think? 38, 40, somewhere around there. Hey, these hips don't lie, baby.
No one ever said your
I'm
hips
pretty
lied,
sure
Willie.
they've lied to a couple of people. I'm
No,
betting
no,
they
no, no,
have.
no, no.
No, that,
I don't
that
lie.
was his dick. When they said, "Is it in
Oh,
yet?"
no.
And it went, "No." Yes.
No, 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 no. I always am
That
up
was
front
wrong.
with
I'm
that.
sorry.
I always tell the ladies I am average at best.
I'm sorry. I should not have made a Willie penis joke. I should know better on this show because we'll never get back from him.
Yeah, it's all your fault, Chris. You
I
know what happens.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm
You keep
always up
leading us down
at-
the same damn road.
But it's almost like I have a button that takes care of this.
We should probably,
That's true.
do actual show stuff instead of talk about Willie's dick.
See? It's on the soundboard.
there you go.
Button is still there, huh?
That
I'm
button is
proud of
still
you,
there.
Chris. Proud of me, too.
Why are you proud of you?
Well, proud of my dick for always being center of attention.
There we go.
That was the correct answer, I
That was the
believe.
correct answer. I should have known it. And do we have any more comments about Willie's dick before we continue the show? Let's just get them all
God.
out right now.
Just waiting for Bachman to go rude with it.
Just
Nope.
Get it all out of your system
Oh,
right now.
okay.
Nope.
Appreciate that.
And then we will no longer have to talk about Willie's anatomy.
For here on ever, or just for this episode?
Probably
Or
just
the
for
next
this
10 minutes.
episode because you know how
Yeah,
this always
probably-
happens.
Probably just this episode because I'm not that lucky.
I mean, I think if people go back and if we have like a statistician who listens, I'm pretty sure I'm not the one who brings up my dick the most. I believe it comes from other people, and I'm just here.
And I
It
think
just
Chris
happened.
is running about an 80% on that curve.
No,
Might
thank
be.
you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, when my friends get together and they do parties, we stay up all night and have a good time. Lots of times I'm just out having a cigarette, and this has happened before. I come back in and they say, "Hey Willie, we have a new nickname for you," or something. We're like, I think the last one was Tainty Cape. It's weird. Someone thought someone would say taint cake or something. I don't know how taint came into being, but
No
they
capes!
were talking about taints wearing capes, and I walked in, and I was a superhero apparently, and my taint wore a cape. I didn't understand. I wasn't there, but apparently I was there and involved. But I was out having my cigarette, so things just happen.
I could see you being a caped tainted superhero.
Wait,
like,
how would that
Oh, go ahead.
work? I'm
not
really
sure.
confused. Yeah, someone paint
Oh!
the picture for me for how this superhero would work.
you better choose your words a lot
Yeah.
better than that.
I wanna paint that
I
picture.
did
Yeah,
ask,
point
and
taken.
no one had a proper answer. So
Yeah, basically he'd have to be wearing assless chaps and just have a cape, a very small cape, basically duct taped to his taint.
aren't all caps assless technically?
Yes, but you have to say that otherwise people think they're full-size pants for some odd reason. Yeah, chaps only just go around the outside. It's weird.
So the implication
the
here
ass
is he's
area
only
chaps is
wearing
covered
the
in
chaps and no pants underneath
Yes.
the chaps, which would
No pants
therefore
underneath,
make them assless.
and then he would have to tape a small piece of cloth behind his ball sack that would be the cape for his taint.
No. Tape's gonna wear out. No, you got a grill to glue that.
Oh, I said duct tape.
Or in this case,
It's tape. You said
does
duct
it
tape.
does the bat wing count as a cape?
Only if you can hold it the entire time you're running around as a superhero.
Well, I mean, you never know. Maybe he just sat in gum.
That's true. I said it, God. I just finished the league again last night. Wait, Pete's not my dad? Yes! That poor kid, Andre 2, the deuce.
All right, you just gave me an idea for a
Uh-oh.
Photoshop picture.
Oh, this is
the
not
bat
good.
signal, but the bat wing instead.
I'm actually surprised I haven't seen that yet. Commissioner Gordon turning on the Batwing.
Warner Brothers is going to sue us.
And it's not
It's a
it's not
parody. Good
it's
luck.
not a symbol. It's literally just Commissioner Gordon doing the Batwing over a spotlight.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, you're gonna singe your balls, buddy. You know how hot that thing gets, man?
That's what makes it funnier.
Can
He's
you
like, I hope he hurries.
are LEDs strong enough for a spotlight?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, you've seen a
Okay,
bunch
yeah,
of them.
use one of those because they don't produce.
My car has LED headlights, so yes.
Do LED lights not produce heat at all, or is
Very
it just
minimal.
very minimal?
Very
Okay.
They do. It's just minimal. Yeah. Anything
Okay,
that's
so
producing
yeah.
light, anything that produces light is producing heat at some level. It just can be a very small amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anytime you're talking about balls, minimal is probably always the best thing to use as a descriptor.
I'm so sorry we went down this path. This is all my fault.
Hey, I'm not talking about my
Yeah.
dick or my balls. I'm just talking about balls in general.
Balls in general.
I'm just talking. I'm just saying. No capes.
So this is a bad
this,
time.
This episode sponsor is gummy bears, just generic gummy bears, because they're fucking delicious.
I do love me some gummy bears. This is probably a good
Haribo?
time to mention that gummy bears bring you episode 396 of All Things Good and Nerdy, entitled "Doing the Batwing."
Doing the Batwing. All right.
All right, I'm gonna try and come up with a song.
About doing the Batwing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should text Naki. Maybe she'll have some ideas for us.
Batwing. What do you do when someone teabags you? Look at the Batwing.
This is what happens when we get locked in our houses for a week, other than like the grocery store and work. We come up with
That's
no.
not true. This is how we are
No.
normally anyway.
This is just
no
off
different.
the cuff.
This is no different.
Yeah, but it's worse
I cannot
than normal.
pre-plan this stupidity. This stupidity is just natural. It comes out. It bounces.
I don't know about you. I'm a little punchy because I've been really bored sitting at my house. There's only so much I can do that's entertaining. So this is quite helpful.
Anybody that has been bored, I think, should be slapped.
Look, I get tired of watching TV all the time or playing
Read a
video
fucking
games.
book.
I've been reading books too, because you know what? Our good friend David, who's guest host on this show, writer of Spencer and Locke and Going to the Chapel, his trade
Yeah.
paperbacks were half off on Comixology, so I bought all them trades and I'm rereading them.
Nice. Yeah, I think I retweeted that tweet to let everybody know he had a sale going on.
Wait. You wrote books? Or are you talking about comic books?
Yes.
Yeah,
comic
comic
books.
books.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he wrote books. Like, I didn't know that. I missed that guy. I love that guy.
He writes movie scripts and comic books. I don't know if he's done an actual novel yet.
I don't know.
What movie scripts did we done? Am I just
I
forgetting?
don't know. But he said, he mentioned that he's worked on scripts in Hollywood.
And
I don't
he's-
know if he's gotten like a big budget movie produced yet from the script that he's worked on. But like there are people who their entire career is writing spec scripts. They get paid to write a script for a studio. The studio then ends up not making the movie, and you still get paid if you wrote it for the studio. There are people who their entire career, nothing that they ever work on gets made, and they make a good living. It's very weird.
It's true. And he did seem to indicate that if the Spencer and Locke movie option were picked up, he'd be involved in that.
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, which makes
Especially
sense.
since he already does scripting anyway. So I mean,
Right, but you
why
gotta
wouldn't
remember,
you?
sometimes these comic
Built
properties
in.
get bought up, and like we have our own vision, and that is how you get Jan's. That's how you get Bluntman v Chronic, whatever the final title was in Jan Silent Bob reboot. I did watch that because it was
Yeah, it's
free.
Bloodman v Chronic.
Yeah, it was free on Amazon Prime.
Wait, what?
Amazon Prime has Jan Silent Bob reboot for free if you're
Oh!
a Prime subscriber.
I think
And
it
it's
is on
pretty
the
goddamn
PlayStation.
funny.
I don't know how.
It's
Okay,
all
I was
right.
actually going to go buy it. Yeah, I might still go buy it
If you
because I
have
want
Prime,
to
you
support
can
him.
get it there. But that's neither here nor there. We've rambled.
I
enough.
said I want to support him. Jesus.
That's fine. You do your supporting.
And looking at David's page on Goodreads, he has all of his comics listed: Spencer and Locke 1 and 2, Going to the Chapel. No actual books, so I don't think he's written a novel yet. But as a writer, he's probably got one on his computer right now that he's working on.
And hey,
Since we're talking about right. Oh, go ahead, Chris. You're
I was going to
on
say,
more on.
and since he's probably quarantined as well, because I believe he's in the L.A. or California area, he's probably got a lot of time to work on said book, even if he hasn't talked to anyone about it right now, or
Yeah.
work on new comic ideas too.
He is definitely in the top 2 of guests we've had. He's always the delight. I do want to say too, since we're talking about Jay and Silent Bob and writing, I probably have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because I forget who I tell things. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I did when I was just out of high school, just probably like 19, 20, maybe 21, maybe 22. I did write a Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back fan fiction. Not a creepy,
do you still
dirty
have said fan fiction?
It's probably somewhere, maybe in my mom's house, in attic or somewhere.
Do you know how much
I only got a
content
couple
we
pages.
could derive from your Jay and Silent Bob fan fiction?
I still remember like the gist of what I wrote down.
If you've got
I can't remember
it,
the jokes.
If you've got it, we can turn it into, or we can rework it a little bit into a script, and we can do a live part of your Jay and Silent Bob fanfic on the show.
Well, you want me to give you a little gist of what it was, right quick?
Snoochie Boochies, motherfucker. Let's do it.
I don't know that we need to get
Wait, what's going
into
on?
too much about what it is yet, unless if we can't find said script at some point in time, it doesn't have to be anytime immediate, then yeah, we can do that. But we could do something similar to that, where we do a live reading of one Willie D. Nelson's Jay and Silent Bob fan fiction. If you can't find it, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. Might be in a box here. I don't know.
Why I bring that up is one of the most fun things that I got to participate in is there were some friends of ours that Greg and Leroy, who guest hosted on this show ages ago, who used to do the podcast Let Us Nerd.
Was his last name Jenkins?
No, it was not Jenkins.
It wasn't Leroy Jenkins?
It was not. They did a live reading, and they had all sorts of people call in or pre-record some lines for them of what is arguably one of the worst fanfics ever written, which is the My Immortal Harry Potter fanfiction. Just go Google it to get the gist of it. It's one of the worst things ever. They go down all sorts of creepy paths. They had all sorts of people record lines for them to play during the live reading of it and split it across 2 podcasts as they did a live reading of that fan fiction. I only had 2 lines, sadly, in that production, where I was Professor Sluthorn.
Nice.
To be honest, I'm not sure how many pages I had done of it. Maybe only like 5 to 10 pages, maybe. It was more of like a definitely could be padded out, like, filled in more, because I was 19, 20, 21. What the hell I knew about writing?
So
what do I still know about writing?
That's fair. So just to give some background, because we touched on what this My Immortal Harry Potter fanfic is, it has its own Wikipedia page entry. It's made the rounds that much on the internet. So My Immortal is a Harry Potter-based fan fiction serially published on fanfiction.net between 2006 and 2007. Known for its incomprehensible narrative and constant digressions, the story centers on a non-canonical female vampire named Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way and her relationships with the characters in the Harry Potter series, particularly her romantic relationship with Draco Malfoy. Ultimately, she is prompted by visions to travel back in time to try and defeat Lord Voldemort. Since the beginning
Ebony Darkness Dimension Raven Way. I'm already out on the character's name. I'm done. Like, that's awful.
Since the beginning of the work's publication, it has gained infamy for its awful writing, plot inconsistency, and complete disregard for the original Harry Potter source material. Often regarded as among the worst fan fiction ever written, My Immortal is felt to be a detriment to those attempting to bring legitimacy to fan fiction. Despite this, the series has also inspired derivative works, including a YouTube web series, and is also viewed with nostalgia for adolescent fan life.
Speaking of like Harry Potter kind of parody type stuff,
Yes.
I would recommend Wizard People, Dear Reader on YouTube. If you're in for just watching something just weird, as somebody just pretty much reading over Harry Potter as the movie's playing in the background, but he's just interjecting so much stuff. You got to experience it. Do it drunkenly with a group of friends, or keep them 6 feet apart. But yeah,
It was 44 chapters, totaling nearly 22,700 words. The story was not finished, sadly.
Jesus.
I'm
all
sorry.
right. Here's a little trivia bit to you, since we're also talking about fanfic. Can you tell me what the longest fanfic book story that's been written?
Oh, I have no idea.
Or well, what's the subject of it? Like, what's it based on?
I would
Harry
guess
Potter.
Game of Thrones.
Neither. You might be surprised that it's called the Subspace Emissary something something something. It's a
Star Trek?
Smash Brothers.
Huh.
What?
Because the single player portion for the Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii was called the Subspace Emissary.
Weird.
And just to give you a little clue to what my Jay and Silent Bob fanfic kind of what I fix a plot hole from Mallrats to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I do fix a plot hole that always bothered me.
Well,
Because you remember when they go see Brody and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, he's running a comic book store, right?
you are correct.
At the very end of Mallrats, I'm gonna say everything they do like a little what these characters are doing in the future or whatever. It says he takes over. I forget which was it, the Late Show or the Tonight Show. I can't remember which.
It was Letterman's show, I thought. No.
Oh, it was okay.
No, it was Tonight Show. It was Tonight Show.
I mean, the obvious joke to do it now would just be like, oh, Jay Leno decided he wanted his job back.
I see what you did there.
No, but I kind of answer what that I kind of answered a bit. I always hated that plot hole. Like, why is he running the comic book store and not still doing the Tonight Shows thing?
Guess what? He's running the comic book store when we come to Jay and Silent Bob reboot as well.
Wait, what? Say it again?
He's running the comic book store in Jay and Silent
Oh.
Bob reboot as well.
I thought you were saying he's doing the Tonight Show. I was
No,
like,
no.
oh,
Comic book store.
Hmm.
That being said, now that I have made fun of what is arguably one of the worst fanfics of all time, and I will see if I can find that live reading that they did at Let Us Know.
hold on a second. The worst? No. The worst one actually got turned into a book series and
Twilight.
movies.
Yeah.
No. 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, okay.
That was a Twilight fanfic, so you weren't too far off.
I'm
That's how it started.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that My Immortal is worse.
Yeah, and Willie, honestly, 50 Shades of Grey is better written than Twilight.
I mean, it's all.
It's all bad. Like, it's all bad and highly derivative of anything that it's ever referenced. But I gave it a shot. I read the first Twilight book. It is one of the most poorly written novels I've ever read in my life. 50 Shades of Grey, like, it's full of a bunch of sex and a character that has no development, but the writing on it is actually better than the writing of the first Twilight book.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say no. Like, I am in no way, shape, or form in the BDSM crowd, I guess. But I can definitely say he says to that girl, you need to sign this contract before anything happens. Does she sign it by the end of that? I've watched the first movie with one of my ex-girlfriends, and she never signs it, yet they still go into it. So it makes no sense. You're breaking your own damn rules.
Oh, yeah. No one said those movies make sense or those books make sense. I'm just saying that the first book of the 50 Shades was better written. Like, just the craft of writing. It didn't hurt to read it.
What was the main
Reading
character's
Twilight-
name?
Christian Grey.
No, well, the girl. Well, it was something Steele, wasn't it? It was like so, like just. Let me just pick out generic names out of this. Generic heroine.
All I
names.
know is
wasn't
it's
it?
Don Jones. Yeah.
Anastasia Steele wasn't that
Yeah.
it? What
Yeah.
Steele? Am I
Something
right
like
on that Steele? That sounds right. Anastasia. God. I'm done with talking about that.
It's just weird that that's fucking Don Johnson's daughter.
Right?
huh?
Oh, did I just
Don
blow
Johnson
Willie's
is-
mind?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know Don Johnson had a daughter. I never thought about
Yeah.
it. It's just like, oh yeah, shit, he is a person. He can have a kid.
Dakota Johnson is
Dakota
not her name.
Fanning.
Oh,
No,
Dakota Johnson. Yeah,
Johnson.
he's right. Yeah, he is. Holy. Yeah, and I will say Don Johnson is excellent in Knives Out.
He really is.
Don
Knives
Johnson
Out's
is excellent in almost everything.
He's also
excellent in the
Brawl
Fight
in
in
Cell Block 99.
99.
Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Brawl. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember the title.
Yeah, I was a little iffy on showing that movie to my dad. I mean, it seems like he would like it, but he just got out of prison, so I wasn't sure how that would be taken. He loved the fuck out of it.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson is the daughter of Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith. Like, that's the child of the 80s right there. She was in, like, Bonfire of the Vanities, bunch of stuff in the 80s. She's sadly one of those ones that had some work done before work was really good yet, and so did a little damage. She's kind of scary looking now.
Fair.
But you know what?
I mean, what can you do?
It just makes me sad when you see people that get work done and they do too much.
Oh, God, what's that?
Speaking of which, rip Kenny Rogers.
Kenny
Rest in
Rogers.
peace to the gambler. You're talking about someone that got too much work done. Whoa.
Is that Kenny Rogers?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! That was
Yeah,
some of my
his
favorite
face-
skits on Mad TV is when Will Sasso was Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kenny Rogers. This is Jackass. Oh, that's so good.
That one is.
Did I do the voice right? Did I do it close enough?
Pretty close.
He was always drunk Kenny Rogers. I'm gonna get hit myself in the nuts. Ha! Like, how can you get dumber than Jackass? Although, I will say, Jackass 3D was probably the best 3D movie I've ever seen for the 3D effects.
Didn't even Roger Ebert say it was a great use of 3D or something like that when he reviewed it?
No
Yeah.
idea. I mean, there's the scene at the end when that's right before they go to credits, and their big ending thing, like everything's exploding around them. I just remember seeing so many depths of field, everything was going around. Amazing.
Wasn't 3D the one where they did the giant hand that just bitch slapped people as they
Yes.
walked through the hallway?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't.
And
I'm
that
glad you
was
didn't say the other
honestly
thing.
so simple, but one of the best sequences they ever did on Jackass. Just a giant fucking hand that just knocked people on their asses. Yeah,
Although-
the 3D in that movie was actually extremely well done. The technical aspects of that film were great.
And
It's
sadly,
a Jackass film, but it was a well-made Jackass film.
Sadly, it also had one of the. Oh my God! It's still permanently scarred in my brain. One of the worst skits they've ever done. It's like a little model train just going around, and it goes past by a little hill, and then all of a sudden that hill starts
Mountain.
erupting, and it's
Yes.
like somebody's ass just sticking out there, and it's just liquid diarrhea. Like
Yeah, that one was bad.
that went back. They went back to their CKY roots,
I'm glad
the
you
CKY
brought...
videos. not the
Thanks for
band.
bringing that back up and scarring us. I don't really know how to proceed.
Well, hold on a second before you go.
Then
The
hit the
CKY
button.
videos.
About to do.
They proved comedian George Carlin wrong. George Carlin had a list of things that you will never see. He said you will never see a man running full speed taking a dump. They proved him wrong. Sadly, I seen that. Why was my cousin into that? Why do you have to share that with me? Family.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
There was no way out of that. I just did the abrupt transition, everyone. But we transition into the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what is, in our minds, some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have cropped up here in the past week. And enjoy it now while we're getting some interesting news, because production's shutting down on a bunch of stuff, and we're going to go into a kind of a bit of a quiet zone when it comes to some of our upcoming entertainment choices.
This is like 10 times worse than a writer's strike.
It will be in the long run.
Yeah. But before we get in, I'm sure we'll touch on some things about how the lockdown and coronavirus is negatively impacting things. Let's get into a really cool news story that dropped on, I want to say Thursday or Friday. I can't remember when it was Friday that I texted to you guys, and it's all about The Mandalorian Season 2. Some fantasy casting that we had all kind of talked about in 2017, like this would be awesome, came true. And what happened here? Well, Slash Film had the exclusive, and other places ripped them off, such as Deadline.com. Totally ripped them off and didn't credit them with this news, that The Mandalorian Season 2 has cast Rosario Dawson to play the role of Ahsoka Tano. For those that don't know who that is a character that was first introduced in the Clone Wars cartoon series as Anakin Skywalker's apprentice, and then became arguably one of the coolest characters in the Star Wars cartoons and Star Wars canon, and arguably one of the most badass characters there. There's this whole thing about you want a badass female character in Star Wars. People are like, oh, it's Rey. You're like, no, it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka's a badass. She was the first.
It was General Leia first,
True.
then Ahsoka, then Rey.
Yeah.
There are actually lots of badass female characters in Star Wars that people seem to forget somehow. I don't understand it.
That is true. So, Slash Film, specifically Peter Scretta, learned that Rosario Dawson is going to appear in Season 2, and she will be the first person to do a live-action portrayal of Ahsoka Tano. Now, some fans are really miffed. They wanted Ashley Eckstein, who's the voice actress, to play the role, but this is something that fans had done like fantasy casting and voting on back in 2017. They are excited about it. And someone had tweeted it to Rosario Dawson saying, hey, would this be something you'd be interested in back in 2017? And she responded back on Twitter with, yes, please, hashtag Ahsoka lives. So there's been a big fan movement being like, Rosario Dawson would be amazing in this role. We want it to happen. And now it is happening. We have no idea how many episodes she's going to appear as Ahsoka in Mandalorian Season 2. But it's going to be really cool to see this character in live action after seeing her grow up throughout the cartoons, then into Star Wars Rebels, and then arguably into whatever the Rebels spin-off cartoon series is going to be. And we do know that presumably her appearance in Mandalorian Season 2 probably takes place after the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels. So this might open the door for Grand Admiral Thrawn, for Ezra Bridger, and Sabine Wren live action appearances as well. I want all of these.
Was that English?
Yes, it was.
Fair enough.
Sailor Poland asked in the chat room, wait, so she survived the Jedi Purge? That is correct. We did see her in Star Wars Rebels in season
Well, and it makes
2
sense
through the
because
end.
she's not a Jedi.
Correct.
Watch Clone Wars. She tells fucking
Padawan?
Anakin and Yoda, eat a dick! And she walks. Because
Literally?
the Jedi Council fucks her over.
Not literally, but
Yeah, basically, that's what she does. No, she, because Twi'leks can't grow hair, she doesn't have the Padawan strand, so she had a piece of jewelry that she wore. She breaks it off, hands it to Anakin, and says, I'm out, and fucking stops training to become a Jedi. So technically, she's a Force user. She uses lightsabers, that's why her blades are white, and she uses the Force, but she is not a Jedi. She did not complete her Jedi training. She did not turn Sith. She is just a Force user.
Yeah, aren't there a couple of the species that don't have hair there in the Jedi? Like, what was that name of the?
Twi'leks.
What was the name of that big-headed dude? Didn't he have a weird name?
Coyote Mundi.
Oh, no, didn't someone have like a dirty-sounding name?
That's the guy
There's
that
a
has the
couple
big
of-
tall head that was a Jedi Knight, is Coyote Mundi.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah, so they'll wear like a piece of jewelry or something to signify the Padawan learner braid if they're a species that can't grow hair. So yeah, so Snips, she had a chain that went in between her like her tentacle horns because she was a Twi'lek, and so she had that chain. And in not the new season that's coming out on Disney right now, but the previous season, she broke the chain and like handed it to Anakin and walked. I was like, I'm done. I'm no longer training to be a Jedi.
It'll be interesting because in Mandalorian, she might be one of the only people that the Mandalorian is going to run into that gets the significance of what the baby Yoda is.
Yeah.
i.e., oh, this is the same species as Yoda, who was a great Jedi Master, and could do some interesting things there. In the article,
It's true. Most people that knew Yoda are dead.
That's true. In the article that they posted on Slash Film, they said last month in Disney's first fiscal quarter, Bob Iger had a call where he mentioned that Mandalorian Season 2 comes in October, and then more coming from the Mandalorian thereafter, including the possibility of infusing it with more characters and the possibility of taking those characters in the same direction in terms of series. What do they mean by that? Potentially spin-offs out of Mandalorian from characters they introduce. And the thought is, if the Rebels epilogue is set somewhere within the same timeline as The Mandalorian, perhaps Ahsoka's appearance in Season 2 is a setup for a live-action Disney Plus spin-off series or movie or maybe even cartoon show. It's going to be interesting. As someone who came onto Rebels after Season 1 didn't hook me, Season 2 did, and then I was completely on board the whole time, I'm really excited to see what happens bringing Ahsoka to live action, to seeing how they continue that story, because while Rebels did ended their story, they did kind of leave this cliffhanger of, hey, what happened with these characters? You can find out at some point in time, and we're going to go try and save them. And then it was, well, wait, what's going to happen? And then we got the Star Wars Resistance cartoon, which I did not care for, instead of, continuing the story of Rebels.
Yeah, I've watched like the first 6 episodes of Resistance, and I haven't gone back into Disney Plus to watch more. And I'm like, I kind of just want to go watch Rebels again.
It's really
Also,
good.
part of it is honestly just the digital art style. Rebels was like a nice step up and continuation of kind of the art style they went with for Clone Wars, and Resistance seems like a backpedal. It seems like it's more cheaply done and just it's not as good.
I did find out who I was thinking of. It's the bug-eyed thing with like
Plo Koon?
Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto.
Okay,
George
yeah.
Lucas, what
Yeah.
you had to know when you were naming that thing.
Yeah, because he had like tentacles, not really like Twi'lek tentacles, but he had like more, like a bunch of tentacles, I think.
It was like the Twi'leks, but like it was more like well, they look like that, but dreaded and skinnier, like kind of like snakes, like thick pythons coming out of his head.
Yeah, and then he had giant black eyes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was in the Clone Wars. He was pretty cool.
I just zoomed
Kit
into his
Fisto.
picture. Oh God, that's not gonna.
Careful.
Yep. So credit to the folks over at Slash Film, specifically Peter in this case, because he said he'd been working on this for months before they dropped it. So the fact that Disney kept it so quiet that only one person had it and then everyone took it and ran with it, that's pretty cool. This is a big reveal. Evidently other sites are starting to confirm that, his reporting, but Deadline just straight up ripped him off and didn't even credit him. So don't give any credit to Deadline.
Yeah, screw them. Go Peter. Good work.
Plus,
And for those that don't know, he does his own YouTube series with his wife called Ordinary Adventures.
I was just about to
it's
say
awesome to watch.
It's absolutely delightful.
I had started watching those, and I had no idea that Peter was the same Peter I'd been following on Slash Film on Twitter for like 4 or 5 years. Like, I had no idea that was the same guy. He's great.
For those
And
who
yeah,
aren't
their
familiar,
videos are super fun.
yeah, their Ordinary Adventures YouTube series focused a lot on like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and things they were finding there. He had one of the first videos that went huge about building your own lightsaber when Galaxy's Edge opened. That's how I think I first found their channel. But then they've kind of spun it in all these other things of, hey, there's new food here. Let's go check out the new food and see what it's about. Or let's do the Black Kyber Crystal Challenge because he's been trying to find one of those forever. It is absolutely a delightful YouTube series, and they've started delving into some of the other Disney parks and covering those more than just like Galaxy's Edge. Now, I wager with Disneyland and World both being shut down right now, they probably have some footage they've got saved up that they're prepped for, but I'm not sure what their ongoing coverage is going to be, other than they've done some Q&As in the past and talked about some of the cool swag they have, so maybe they'll go down that path. I don't know. It's a really fun YouTube channel, though.
They also do they'll open mail at home and answer questions. So yeah, they'll be able to do a couple of those probably. But yeah, it's going to be weird to see like a lot of YouTube creators where the videos they create actually can't be made at home. It's them going out and doing things. Like that's going to change up a lot of people's like YouTube careers over the next couple of months.
Right. Like one of the channels I really enjoy, and Willie's talked about it before, is the Corridor Crew and the Corridor Digital channels, where they do like their stuntman reacts and things like that, or VFX
CGI
reacts and stuff like that. And they did their most recent one, and they had a little stinger at the end that was basically like, hey, we've got a shutdown going on right now, so we're not really sure what all we're going to be able to do going forward.
Understandable.
Because they're all working from home, like they should be, things like that. So just don't get frustrated when some of your favorite YouTube creators aren't pumping out a bunch of content, because it's really hard to do when you can't leave your house for some of these creators.
And you did mention the last episode they had with the stunt performances. They had on the Black Widow's stunt actress.
Amy E. Johnston or Johnson, I can't remember, was the stunt actor.
Thank you for remembering that, because my memory is terrible. I cannot remember names.
She was a badass, though. When I started going through and looking at her filmography and like her stunt reel, she's a badass.
They're like, that was you? Like, yeah, that was me doing that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance, it's one of my favorite YouTube series to watch that I just recently found out about like in the last 6 months, so I've been consuming as much of it as I can, where they literally sit down with different stunt people and go through and go like, here's some scenes that they're in. Now let's just talk about some other cool stunts from other movies and have them react and be like, here's how I think they did it. Really neat.
Yes. Somehow I got onto it from the first episode of them showing that. I think I've seen other stuff for them, but I didn't really know who they were. Didn't really, went into it. But yeah, they also have other series from their main channel, Corridor. The Corridor Cruise, kind of like fun stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, and the React stuff. But yeah, their anime series, hilarious. Anime baseball, anime fidget spinners, hilarious.
They do some
They get
really
that
cool
tone.
stuff. Yeah, I like a lot of the work they've done. So if you're not familiar with them, hey, we're all sitting at home right now. Now's the chance to go and explore some stuff on YouTube or in Netflix that you haven't watched before. Go check out like the back catalog of the stuff that Corridor and Corridor Crew has done. They also have a spin-off channel called Node that is all of like the games and stuff they play.
Oh, that's still them too?
Yeah, that's them also.
Okay, I thought it was like a separate.
Or they're associated with them somehow because
Okay.
you see like Nico and Sam always crossing back and forth with it.
Maybe owned by the same parent
Maybe,
company.
I'm not sure. But that's where they'll do like sometimes it's like we're playing a bunch of games on the computer and like a LAN party. Other times they're going out and playing airsoft games or Nerf games, where they like rent out a house and do all sorts of like Trouble in Terrorist Town games. They do all sorts of fun little adventure videos like that. And from a production standpoint, it's kind of cool when they do one of like their airsoft battles because everyone has like a GoPro mounted on their head, and they also have people that are there filming, and they splice the footage together really well so you get an idea of what's going on. There's a lot of editing time that goes into that, I'm sure, and it's really neat stuff.
Yeah, I think my memory just got. I think the first video I saw them without really knowing who they were at the time, where they did they put a GoPro on like an arrow, and they were shooting it in the air, and it was like a thicker head arrow so the GoPro could stay on it, and they got some cool shots with that.
They
Not
did,
gonna lie.
and then they also build some cool stuff on there. Like I think it was a last Corridor Crew episode last week. One of the guys that works there, his name is Ren, built a drone that has a Nerf gun affixed to it that he can fire from the drone.
Nice.
So like he's using the first person the FPS goggles or whatever. So like he's got a camera on the front of him, he's flying it, and in the end, after he's gotten this drone successfully built, and it's really fascinating to see how he builds it, he then takes the drone and is trying to shoot one of the guys he works with, and he's trying to shoot the drone down or throw an axe at it. So it's man v drone in a Nerf battle, and it's absolutely delightful, and it's really cool. And the engineering behind making this drone with a Nerf gun affixed to it, it's just fascinating.
I'm on the subreddit Corridor, and Ren is a saint on there.
It also reminds me, fuck the Academy. Fight choreography and stunt should be its own Academy Award winning category. Every fucking year, there's some fight choreography, some stunt crew doing some shit that they deserve Academy Awards for.
I agree with you, but you know what? I don't really care about the Academy anymore. They're just. Oh, I found out how they do things.
But the
you
film
have to go
industry does
campaign to win. Yeah. Like so that people don't just vote on who they think should win. They have to campaign to win. What? It's not
how it works anymore.
It's not. I guess it's political. I guess because you made it that. I mean, that makes no sense. You have to spend money to win. Blah blah blah.
Yep. But in all seriousness, if you're looking for some more content, some more stuff to watch, go on YouTube, check out Corridor Crew, Node, stuff like that. There's a bunch of entertaining things in there. I've gone through a bunch of their back catalog of stuff over the past 4 or 5 months, and I'm like, this is all content that I really like. I don't know how I was not aware of it prior to when I first found it a few months ago, and I was kicking myself for not having watched it. It's really good stuff.
I will thank them too, because I did not realize how much practical effects are in the Marvel movies. They use so many practical effects. It blew my mind.
Well, that's what brought me back to that topic of the stunt thing. Was you see that video they put out of Cap's guy, Age of Ultron, and he's doing the big camera through on the thing. His stunt double actually did like a backflip with 2 twists and then landed on the ground. And it's in the movie.
Gainer?
Yeah, something like that. But it's a beautiful move, and he perfectly nails it. And they have the shot of him doing it, no mask, but he's in full costume as Cap, and he literally takes a step forward off a platform, does a backflip in the air, spins twice, and lands like in the superhero pose, and it's gorgeous. And the dude actually did that in costume as the character, and the shots in the film. It's so cool.
Yeah,
and those guys work their asses off.
You don't realize how well they mix practical effects with special effects, visual effects rather. In the last Stuntman React, where they're doing Winter Soldier stuff, you find out the whole Winter Soldier highway chase scene or whatever, the one where they slide across on the door across the freeway and stuff. That was real.
Yep.
They did on the green screen them dropping out, but then there was a whole other thing where they pushed them on a car door across the road, had them go up on a ramp to make the drop happen, and while that's happening in front of them, there's actually a car flipping through midair. And that was all done practical effects that they then augmented with CGI. Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, did they land on pads or something? I guess
They had some pads, and then what they were saying is the guy who was playing the stunt, or who was playing Falcon, in regards to stunts, that when he slides off the door, that had to hurt.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he's wearing short sleeves, and she goes, well, he was wearing like these clear hockey pads, like they were like a thin adhesive thing they could put on, but still, it's gonna hurt.
Mm.
Yeah, if they screw those up, but that's why they practice all that stuff and do the math. Like, so much of done in stunts is math and doing physics calculations to figure out how a car is going to flip, how a human body is going to move along a trajectory, how something's going to happen to where if we're in this specific spot, we will be perfectly safe. If we're 2 inches to the left, we might lose an arm. If we're 2 inches to the right, our head might come off. And like, those guys work shit down to the millimeter. It's amazing the work they do.
Yeah, you are 100% right. It's phenomenal. And honestly, these Stuntman Reacts videos have given me such a better perspective on just how they pull some of these off, and just how something that might look simple when you see the final product is not simple whatsoever. It's really, really good. Bachman, I'm really sure that you would enjoy at the very least the Stuntman Reacts ones, because
I need to
they
start
get into
watching
everything.
those. I put the Collider stuff on my YouTube, but I haven't got around to it yet.
This
I need
one's
to start
Corridor.
watching.
This is Corridor.
Or
Corridor
Different.
Crew.
Yeah, and
The
Corridor
channel,
Crew.
the YouTube channel,
Okay.
Corridor Crew is the one where all the reacts ones are at.
Nice.
And you know Clint from the channel.
Yes.
I actually recognize him from. Do you remember Freddie Wong on YouTube?
Yes. Video game.
He
high
did a lot
school.
of. Yep. Yeah, he had a bunch of he had like little skits and stuff before, like on YouTube. Just like Clint, I remember him from there. He was actually, they had a little skit called "The Adventures of Milkman," the worst superhero ever.
Yes.
Definitely look up that video. That is Clint as Milkman. It is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that they've collaborated with Freddie in the past or something like that, because he's come and done some of the Corridor videos also.
And yeah, definitely, if you're a metaphobe, do not look up at the Milkman. Do not look it up if you're a metaphobe.
Yeah, so seriously, that's some really good YouTube stuff to go and check out. Willie and I have both enjoyed it. We think that if you enjoy similar things to what we do, you're really going to enjoy it as well. So go check it out. Like we said, we need things to do when you can't really do much besides stay home, which is what you're supposed to do. I'm not complaining about that, mind you. Now, that's something good from a consumer perspective there. But one of the things that we haven't really started to figure out is, what's this lockdown going to do to different businesses, especially small businesses? And when you get into places like the comic book industry, there's potentially some trouble coming up there. So, Bachman, what do you got for us in that regard?
We got on Thursday, the California governor expanded the stay-at-home, safer at home guidelines. Excuse me. I believe now California and New York, and I think there's another state too, have gone to basically fully, if it's non-essential, businesses are supposed to be closed. So basically anything besides a grocery store or a hospital, like, they're shutting down everything.
Pennsylvania did the same thing, and that also
Pennsylvania
included
did it?
shutting down GameStop, because GameStop found some loophole that since they sell consumer electronics and computer equipment, they could deem themselves essential. So there's a whole different, I'm not going to get into it now, but there's a whole different tirade that's been going on about how GameStops were still open and how GameStops have been out of cleaning supplies. They couldn't get any in. So like, these guys are trying to make their own cleaning supplies and be like, am I supposed to take
Jesus.
trade-ins in right now? Because those are gross. They're finally starting to shut it down, and GameStop's at least going to curbside drop off for things. Still, they shouldn't be open
Jeez.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Go to r/GameStop. You can see a bunch of stuff there. It's an unofficial subreddit for them. It's some shitty stuff. And there's people that got in on like their managers' calls and stuff and recorded it. It's shitty.
Jeez. Yeah, GameStop, you are not essential. You barely belong in the industry.
Well,
You're awful.
What they've realized is if they shut down for coronavirus, they're probably not coming back. So they're trying to suck every last dollar out of people that they can, I think.
That sounds like GameStop.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for their employees, but that's a shitty company.
Yes, I agree.
Now, this might be some old news. I can't remember how long ago I saw this. Do you saw who the newest member of the GameStop Corporation
Reggie.
is? Yeah, I was so sad to see that. I was like, no, Reggie Fils-Aime. How do you pronounce his last? Fils-Aime?
Phil's aim? I don't know.
Yeah, I never
He's just
understood. I see
Reggie.
it written.
He's just Reggie.
What nationality is he?
I don't know. And I apologize, Bachman. We kind of interrupted your story just
That's all right.
because it's been a big deal. If you follow on Twitter, on Reddit, things like that, people ripping on GameStop, and a bunch of staff members having tweeted out to like Polygon, Kotaku, Vice, IGN, stuff like that, like, we're still open. Here's the problem, sending them memos about stuff that GameStop corporate is sending, including be like, if someone comes to try and shut you down, give them this that shows that we're essential. And they're like, we are not essential. They want, but honestly, what GameStop was trying to do was get through Friday because Doom and Animal Crossing.
Well, here's the thing. What's the point of GameStop when you got Walmart and Target? You can just go there.
You're not wrong.
True. But one of the things that the coronavirus is going to hurt is an industry I think most of us actually like to stay around, unlike GameStop. From a Heat Vision article on the Hollywood Reporter, the moment we have been dreading, coronavirus lands Thanos-sized punch on comic shops. So comic shops in LA and in the New York area are having to close down, where like they've been dreading this because the majority of comic shops are still getting a large chunk of their income from walk-in customers. Most people don't do the mail order from their comic shop. If they shop at their local comic shop, you go in every week. If you're a real fan, you go in every Wednesday. I mean, I've gone to the point where I go in every payday and pick up the last 2 weeks worth. But people that are like super addicted to their comics still go into their shop every Wednesday, pick up their new books. And so it is it's a physical transaction in the store every week that a lot of people have been doing, some of them for decades. And so with these stores selling down, like a lot of them had moved to like a curbside service. They'd moved to mail order, to where they would take your order over the phone and then send you your comics in the mail, which then, the postal carriers, some of them are now actually being overworked because a lot of stuff's going through mail order that we used to go and get, just go pick up yourself. So yeah, because of it being followed. Oh, Illinois was also another one that followed suit for non-essential businesses. So California, New York, Illinois, and apparently Pennsylvania. So all comic book stores are going to be shut down in those states. And I'm bringing it up because specifically my store in my town in Boise, Idaho, Captain Comics, is still open. They are constantly cleaning the counters. I went in on Thursday, I think it was, and like everything was wiped down. They were just spending the whole day cleaning, making sure a minimum number of customers were in the store at any given time, which it wasn't like it was really flooded. I think there was 4 people in there when I was in there. Like, it wasn't huge. There was as many people working as there were customers. But like they're keeping everything clean, but like they're taking people's credit cards if you want to order over the phone, and then they're mailing you stuff. They're bringing stuff out to people's cars. Like, they're doing everything they can, to keep the shops clean. If you have a local comic book store like that, those businesses go under real damn quick if they can't sell the product that they already paid for 2 months ago. So one of the other big deals in the article was they talked about the guy running, I think is it Golden Apple? It was Golden Apple or one of the other ones. Oh, Collector's Paradise. He called the 4 distributors and said, hey, are we going to be able to do returns with the coronavirus shutting down and us having to close our shop? And of the 4 distributors, 2 of them ignored his email completely. I'm going to bet one of those was Diamond, because they're assholes.
Oh, guaranteed.
The only
it was
one,
Diamond.
yeah. The only one that one of them responded with like a cryptic reply that didn't seem to be any help. The only one that actually responded with a helpful thing was Image Comics, and they said they will be fully returnable for the next 2 months, and they will be staggering or canceling some releases. So Image is apparently hopping on the ball, addressing the concerns, knowing that there's still roughly, I think it's something like 1,500 comic book shops in the U.S. Like, all of those shops ordered their stuff 2 months ahead of time to get it done through previews, to get the comics in the store. And the shops pay for those books when they order them. And so these comic shops have already paid for books for the next 2 months. All that product's going to come to them. And if there's no people coming in the stores to buy them, they're just sitting on wasted money. Like, they've already paid for these items. And, if you don't have Diamond allowing returns, which they're the largest distributor of comic books in the world, this is going to hurt a lot of very small businesses in a lot of towns. And so, I mean, we might see, I don't think it's going to be the end of the comic book store, but this might end up bankrupting a whole lot of them.
You're going to see a lot of them thin out, which has got me sad, especially those that might have been living on the edge, for lack of a better term, because there are times when I imagine as a comic book retailer that the times are leaner than others because people aren't buying as much stuff because there's not a mega event or there's not something like that that's drawing them in. And if they're in one of those lean periods, I'm sure there's a lot of them looking at their books right now and going, "Oh shit, what am I gonna do?"
Well, and then a lot of them subsidize the comic books that they sell by selling other items. A lot of them are comics and cards stores. So, like Captain, they sell Pokemon, they sell Magic, they sell Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, you know who's not coming in to buy those cards? Kids that aren't going to be able to go play at tournaments, because you're not going to be having card tournaments for months. They're not going to have a crowds of 100 kids that already don't bathe shoved into a room when we're facing the coronavirus epidemic. We couldn't get these kids to wash their asses before. Like, no one's going to want to be in those rooms for a long time. So those people aren't going to be going to tournaments. So they're not going to be coming in and buying cards. So that's also going to hurt the industry, because one of the subcategories they're selling to make up for the loss that they're not selling enough monthly comics is the cards, and now the cards aren't going to be selling as well. Like, this is going to hurt a lot of small businesses.
Sailor Poland brings up in the chat room, don't forget the creators. Valiant just told its creative staff not to work on their stuff for 1 month.
Yeah. And yeah, there's been a lot of talk on Twitter. I've seen a lot of artists saying there's a couple of companies that have stopped paying. And Eric Larson, I believe, the guy who's a writer, creator, artist on Savage Dragon, was one of the first ones to say instantly to all the freelance artists out there, don't draw another page until you've been paid for the page you just finished. If there's companies shutting down right now, don't be doing work for a company that may not be sending you a paycheck for your freelance work. Because, yeah, if you're under contract and they stop sending you checks, then stop working. Like, go do commissions.
Yep.
I mean, you can still do free mail order stuff. You know, hit your social media up. And I've seen a lot of the artists I follow on Twitter like, hey, I'm not doing anything else right now, so my commission list is open. So now is honestly a really good time to get commissioned artwork from super talented comic book artists. Go on Instagram, go on Twitter. There are literally thousands of them right now that'll do a commission for you at their house. They'll pop in an envelope, send it to you in the mail, and you can get some really good artwork.
All right, I do have two things here. One, thank you, Bachman, for foreshadowing with the hard time bathing thing you mentioned earlier. That'd be what I've been into later on. And two, I think we have a better name for this episode, because you heard it from Bachman again. True fans go on every Wednesdays to get their comics. There's another we should call this Gatekeeper Bachman.
That's true. Okay, I shouldn't say true fans.
Left and right.
I should say true fans. I should say hardcore fans go every Wednesday to pick up their books. But... Yeah, because I'm not a hardcore fan the way I was for getting my comics every Wednesday, but I just have to pick them up on payday. Like, I can't go sooner than payday.
Right.
I get my books every payday. But yeah, I shouldn't say true fans. Let's just say hardcore fans.
I think you might have said real fans.
There are lots of true fans that only pick up their books once a month.
Yeah, I remember when back in like my senior year of high school, when I was actually collecting comic books, like I would go every Wednesday, just say this interests me, this interests me. I don't think I was really consistent with what I was getting. Just anything that interested me. People would ask. I'll just be going around like, "Hey, how's it going? You know, today's the greatest day in the world." They're like, "Why?" Because it's Wednesday. That'd just be my answer. I didn't have to answer anything more. Just because it's Wednesday. And they're always like, that's mysterious. I like you, Willie. Like you too, buddy.
As I used to go in during my 4.5, 5 years in college when I was on the GI Bill, I would get my GI Bill. I would pay my rent. I would pay all my bills. I would go pick up my groceries, and then I would hit the comic shop, and I would drop sometimes $180 to $250 a month on comics. Like, I was buying a lot of books at that time. But also, yeah, I was getting, a nice fat GI Bill with the Navy College fund on top of it, which I had earned. So, yeah, I was reading a lot of comics back then. Yeah, the fact that I'm under like $40 a month now, sometimes in a month, is shocking. It's just shocking to me that I read so few comics now.
Yeah. So the takeaway here for you guys who are watching live or listening later is, if you are going to your if you've been going to your comic book shop and getting books, try and call them, be like, hey, let me keep up with what I've been getting. Let me just pay each 2 weeks or whatever like that, and I'll pick them up when things are open. A lot of them are also still doing curbside pickup if they're allowed to be open. Like, I know my local stores, they're still open. You can go in if you want, but they're also saying if you don't want to come and call us, we'll bring the comics out to your car. Do the same thing with other small businesses in your area too, if you can. Like, for instance, in West Virginia where I live now, they've closed restaurants for everything but takeaway and delivery. But a lot of them, especially the small businesses, have been great. They've been saying, hey, call us. We'll take your order over the phone. be here in 30 minutes. Call us when you get here. We'll run the food out to your car. It's already paid for. You don't have to worry about it. My wife and I kind of made a decision that while this is going on, our goal is to try and, at least with 2 of the small business restaurants in town, get food at least twice a week from them to ensure that we're at least giving some money to some of the local businesses to try and help keep things open, because I'm sure a lot of these small businesses, comic book shops included, restaurants, things like that, they're all looking at this and going, oh shit, I don't know what we do here, and I don't know how long we can keep this up. And one of my favorite places to eat in town last Sunday closed their doors and said, we can't survive when this shutdown happens for a coronavirus, so we're just shutting it down now. They shut down, and this family shut down both the restaurants they own across the street from each other in the downtown area. That one of them had been there since I was going to school at WVU here, and they'd been here for ages. And do what you can to support your local small business. That includes comic book shops.
Yeah.
That includes restaurants. That includes insert other businesses here if you can. Do what you can.
I'm going to do a little gatekeeping here too, and a little bit. Remember, if you do decide to go, just make sure you bathe and wash your hands regularly. If you're going to go, take some precautions to help others and yourself. And also, I'm going to do a little gatekeeping here myself too. Remember, you can't be a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament champion if you bathe during the tournament. What the hell's wrong with you? You got to get into your mind of your opponent, and the best way to get to your opponent's mind is through the olfactory. Goes right to the brain.
I guess that's one way of looking at it.
You're awful. You're just awful.
I'm not wrong.
But yeah, it's a good time to help support small businesses, because if this shutdown ends up lasting more than a couple of months, like there may be a lot of small businesses that are not going to make it through this, which is really sad.
The economic fallout and what it means to small businesses, that's the scary thing here. I mean, small businesses that are doing food right now, at least they have the option to do to-go and to do delivery, but things like that. But could you imagine some of these other things, especially comic book shops, if they shut down all non-essential stuff? What are they going to do? They can't go and pick up their orders. They can't package orders to give out to folks. I'm just waiting until they tell me I can go back to work again. And I'm sure that is terrifying from the owner's perspective. And my heart goes out to them.
Yeah, I do know there is Greensboro has 2 comic book stores. One of them that's been very well established, I think, for as long as I've been living. It's called Acme Comics. Very good place. The guy who runs it, not the owner, but the guy who's like manager, I've heard a weird story or two about him, but that's neither here nor there. And then the other place, I think, is called Parts Unknown. I've only went there a couple times. The guy who owns it and runs it, very nice guy. If he has to close down for a while, I don't know if that place is going to survive.
Yeah,
because that place is kind of like the lesser known, and the guy was super nice every time I went in there.
Yeah, if you can, and there's places you buy from, just try and do what you can for them. And if you're in a situation now where you can't work because things are shut down, don't overextend yourself. I mean, you got to take care of yourself. We get that. Hopefully you're in a lucky enough position you can work from home, or they've made accommodations for those that still have to go in. I am in a position where I still have to go in, but most of the people in my office, they have set them up to work from home, and it's a skeleton crew. So like when I go in on Monday, my office normally has like 30, 40 people in it. There's going to be maybe 10 of us in there.
My friend who works at a big office there, they've got everybody. They used to do one telecommute day a week, and now everybody in that office is telecommuting, so they're all working from home. And honestly, any company where you sit in front of a computer anywhere, like unless it's like doing CGI for a big budget movie, every company should be able to have their people work from home right now. Because if you're just putting data into a system, like you should be able to set that up securely from people's home computers. If you can't, then get off your ass.
Yeah, I would not want to do those big Hollywood computer work at your home, because I don't want my house to be like, running at 160 degrees. Because I
think most people's home computers can't do what those computers can do. So.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! The rendering would just melt the metal. The rendering the computers that render those can melt steel beams. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, they produce some heat.
I was going with the 9/11 joke. Just saying.
Oh, Willie.
It's been done and tired. I'm terrible.
Willie.
I mean,
But that was my
this
news.
is not the first time you guys are disappointing me today.
Not even
Oh,
today.
And
Not
the
even
day's
the
not
last
over
hour.
yet.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
day is not over yet.
well, I'm saying it's
But-
not the first time already today. You already been.
But Willie, you know how you can ease some of that disappointment by getting into your news, letting us know what's going on. Help
I was
ease
gonna
that
say
disappointment.
I was gonna say make this tear duct stop watering my eye.
You're not supposed to touch your face.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already kind of. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
We are going to talk amongst ourselves here while Willie prepares for his news
I'm
story
trying to think.
here.
Is my comic book shop, I think Captain's been around in Boise for 17 or 18 years. They said their 15th anniversary a while ago. So I think they're creeping up on a 20-year anniversary. Like, yeah, I really hope they don't close. I've literally been a customer at that store with a pull list since 2002. The month I got out of the Navy and came home, I opened up a pull list there because I knew I was going to be living in Boise. And I've gotten my books there every month since 2002. So yeah, 18 years. So they're coming up on their 19th or 20th year, I think.
Wow.
So yeah,
Sorry
it's going to
about
be
that.
sad if they close.
Sorry about that quick exit. I was trying to be a professional. Didn't want to blow my nose on air. That'd
No,
be
you're good.
a little weird.
We're good. We covered it up. Nobody even knew. You
No,
weren't
no.
even on camera.
Just blow my nose.
But
That's
now,
all.
but now you pulled open the curtain and showed everyone the dirty laundry of what we were hiding.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to apologize for it. You know,
Ignore the
I mean,
man behind the curtain.
I will admit my faults, which I have plenty.
But
Oh, you could say a plethora of problems.
But I don't think those come into your gaming choice as of late, does it?
Nope, because once again, we don't have news of the week because my finger is firmly on the pulse of my ass, far from it. So, bring it back tomorrow, or Jane Bob strike back. Yeah, so I got a little game, and just to give a little FU to GameStop, this is technically like the first like game for the Switch I've gotten that I didn't get physical. I got digitally. And it came out Friday, and that's Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. And yeah, if you've ever played Animal Crossing, or better yet, if you've never heard of Animal Crossing, it is pretty much a game that's not meant to be played for long periods of time. Daily, it's meant to be played in short bursts throughout the years and years that you do play. Like everything is run in real time. Like the day is the day, the hour is the hour, the minute is the minute. And yeah, you got little things to take care of. You're a villager in a new island for this game. You got your own little island. The graphics are looking a lot better than in the previous ones because I went straight from the GameCube one, which was a Nintendo 64 port, and then I played a little bit on the Wii version, which would be Animal Crossing City Folk. That one had some hit and misses in, I'm not gonna lie, but this one so far has been pretty good. You can't really do too much, in the very beginning, because you can upgrade stuff, but it takes the next day for it to be done. Pretty much, like it takes real time to do it.
So Willie, while you're discussing Animal Crossing here, I'd like to point out I have never played an Animal Crossing game. However, I've seen a lot of my friends who are, and I am seriously considering downloading it after the show to play. So this is your chance, sir. Sell me on Animal Crossing. Why do I want to play this game? How addicted am I going to get to this game?
I want to say I'm gonna go with the cons first. There is very little instant gratification with this game. It's like the long con pretty much, because things don't happen fast. Like I said, you start off in a tent when you get to your island. You get two animal neighbors, and then you also get more later on. Some move out, some more move in. Like it goes on as time goes on. There's not really a lot to do from day to day, but you do have like a list that you can go do. You can go fishing. You can do whatever you want. You can plant trees. You can plant flowers. You can have your island looking how you want to suit your needs. But it does take time to go on. Like I'm still in it where I have to wait I'm probably a week away before I can really do the majority of what I want to do. Think of it kind of like Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Kind of like that, but more slower.
Okay.
Like I said, you start off, you have a tent, you get to place your tent, and then he tells you that you can pay. You actually owe me for that. I loaned you out technically the money to have that tent in that little spot. So then you owe Tom Nook. You will learn Tom Nook's name because you will always owe him money. Pretty much every time you do finish paying off the loan for my tent, he said, "Oh, don't you want a house? So I can give you another loan and we can build you a house." I just got my house today, and luckily,
Wait, so you're saying Animal Crossing comes with a loan shark?
Technically, a lone raccoon.
Lone raccoon, nice.
Yep, because he's Tom Nook. Do you remember what the raccoon in Super Mario Brothers 3 when you got the little leaf when you turn the raccoon?
Oh,
the Tanuki suit.
Yeah.
Tom Nook. Tanuki. Yeah, it's a very pun-rific. Actually, and I'm not sure how many neighbors you could have, or how many neighbors that are possible. Like, I never actually looked that up. So far, I just got 2. I got a frog named Diva, not like the Overwatch character, spelled out just like Diva, and then a tiger who is very into athleticism. They're nice enough. I'm just waiting to get more in. The biggest deal I've had is to unlock the museum, and I'm having to wait another day to get my museum in. First, you have to donate. You can catch fish, bugs, and you can donate them to Tom Nook in the beginning, and he sends them off to his friend Blathers the owl, who after you donate 5 things to Tom Nook, he says, "Well, hold on a second, Blathers, we have enough stuff. He can come to the island. He can open up his own museum." So you pick a spot out for Blathers. He comes in. You go over to him and you donate 10 things for him because he's still only in like a bigger tent for his museum, but he doesn't have the museum. He needs more donations to kind of get the museum built because apparently there's a museum council that needs, we need proof that you can be viable, but whatever. So when I've donated 10 things to him there, then it takes another day for the construction to start for the museum, which is what I'm in now. It's in the construction. I have to wait till tomorrow for it to be unveiled. If you are, what's the word? When you can't wait for something.
In a rush, if you can't wait.
No, there's like a single word. Anyway, you can go on. When you can't wait for it, you can kind of cheat a little bit and change the Switch date and time. I
think
am
they
a
made
purist.
it so you can't because it's now requiring an internet connection.
It's not requiring at all. I can tell you that right now. Lots of times, because it will not actually turn on the internet until you either go to the pier for like a little plane because I've already gone to a friend of mine's island and they came to mine. Online doesn't turn on till you get to that point. And then I think it only turns on when you do that. You can either open your island for visitors to come in, or when you just look at your friends list, it shows you who's online. That's about the only time you can do that. But other than that, I think it is off. And you can time travel. I've seen it. People still talk about it. I'm on the Animal Crossing subreddit. I'm a purist. I'm not going to time travel. When I did have it for the Wii, I will say, it was me and the ex-wife playing it. She wanted to time travel, and I was against it, but we time traveled, and I was not a fan. And like I said, everything stays with it. If you still have the GameCube version of the game and you have the little memory card, you can go back to it whenever. Like all the people, weeds will have grown in throughout your town that you can go pull up. Cockroaches will be in your house that you have to go stomp on. And then the townsfolk will be like, hey, it's been 194 months since I've seen you. Where have you been? I don't know how many years this is. I just said, just saw a video where someone just went through all their old saves and that's the number they gave. But but it's kind of like a town. Yeah, it's a town you build up, and it's something you could just do a little bit every day, and there are no microtransactions.
Nice.
It's kind of like a phone game where you're building your own thing, you keep going, but no microtransactions. You just have to wait. Patience is a virtue in this game, but you can always go around fish as long as you want. The tools in it, like you get a shovel, an axe, a net to catch the bugs, a fishing rod, and various other things. I'm not sure if it's new in this one because I've only played, like I said, the GameCube one and the Wii version, and there was 2 other ones for the DS and the 3DS. I'm not sure if this was in those, but yeah. It's not for someone has no patience.
So this one's this is super casual basically. Is you can pick it up for
Very
about 10 minutes a day, and then you can go about and try it and play something else and come back to like, oh, I've got some progress. I'm ready to go here.
Mm.
It's I'm trying to think of the right term here other than just casual gaming, but you're laid back and you can do it at your own pace, I guess is what I'm looking to say.
Oh yeah, there's no rush to do anything either. Like your own pace is your own pace, and there is kind of like a throttling if you try to go too fast. Like it will stop you to take it in. You know, I do know the last one that you were in for the 3DS, New Leaf, I think it was called. The subtitle.
You're correct.
You were pretty much the mayor of your town. And this is also that one is where the character Isabella came in, where she is a famous character in the Animal Crossing and crossed over into Smash Brothers. Very odd to see that, but she's actually a good Smash character, not gonna lie.
So you said you bought this one digitally. How big a download was it? Do you know roughly?
You know what? I have no idea how to check that on the Switch. I had space and it didn't have any issues.
Did it take a while to download? Because I found Switch games that are sometimes super slow to download. Other times they're super fast. I have no idea why.
Actually, I had no idea how long it took because it actually. I'm glad, and I was worried that they weren't going to do this. It pre-downloaded.
Oh, nice.
And it even downloaded the day one patch, I think the day before on the Thursday.
That's pretty sick.
So the only problem is I think their servers got flooded because at midnight I tried to click on it and it says checking the e-store. And it's like, cannot connect. I was like, ooh, I think their servers are getting bugged because a lot of people were trying to access it. Like, they should have just, like, I wonder how it's accessing it. Like, is it not just checking the time that they have set in for their e-store? Like, you don't think that could be flooded that much?
So,
it's just checking a little value, and that's it.
I think there had been issues this last week. Both Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch Online had issues a couple times where connectivity was down just because there were arguably too many people trying to access and do things at a time. And then I also wager some of that was probably jackoffs doing DDoSing them because they're like, ha, you can't do anything, so let me ruin your entertainment.
Wait, hold on a second. Nintendo has online? The Switch has online? What are you talking about?
The Switch Store, okay.
It's also, a joke.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the Switch Store was also down as part of that outage.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah.
And what's this? Jackoff? Oh,
I was going to say jagoffs, but I don't want to use a local phrase.
Is that why I did hear about the Xbox Live was down twice this past week? Is that why? Because they were getting DDoS?
I don't honestly know. I didn't go and investigate it a ton. I wouldn't. What I was meaning, and I should have clarified here, so thank you for giving me the opportunity. What I was meaning is it would not surprise me if part of that problem was people then DDoSing because they have a captive audience and people are looking for stuff to do, so they need to ruin it for them. There's also people that did like to NIH websites and things like that for people who are trying to look up news on coronavirus.
You know, this just came into my head. Video games usually come out on Tuesdays, right? New games.
Yes, but now some has started to shift for Fridays for some reason. Like we
Okay,
had
yeah, I
Doom
saw-
and Animal
I know
Crossing this
Nintendo.
Friday.
I know Nintendo has been doing Friday releases for a while. Yeah, then I remember that memory. Like, yeah, people were going on about like Doom and Animal Crossing come out on the same day. They were always crossing them over. They had Isabella on like in the Doom guy like stuff. They were crossing. They were like the internet got together, or the two fandoms got together, and they celebrated together. And that was a good thing. And they weren't in competitions, which is weird to see. Two separate company, because you got your fanboys, but they never saw anything going head to head with that. I'm happy with that. Let's get rid of fanboyism. I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. I see you judging me.
No, I wasn't. I was writing something in the chat room. Based off of some chat
I'm
room
judging you.
conversations that we've had,
Not surprised.
there have been some questions like Drasman has asked for different artist tutorials and different kind of tech things to go and look up. Maybe one of the things we should look into doing for next week's show, and we don't have to take the whole show to do it, but let's take part of the show next week, and anyone who's watching live right now, feel free to chime in with it. Let's give some recommendations for things to watch, to consume, to play during this shutdown, during this COVID crisis, so that you can stay home and enjoy things. Like we talked a lot about tech podcasts in there,
Yeah,
stuff like
our
that.
Don't
Cabin
forget,
Fever playlist.
Yeah.
And don't forget don't forget what was it last week I did that Onrush? No, was that the week before? My sense of time is out the window. Remember I did the
I
little
think it
Onrush?
was last week. So I think next week, as Bachman put it, we'll go through our Cabin Fever playlists. And if you guys have suggestions of stuff,
Oh, I do.
you can put it in the chat room next week. But please feel free to tweet us any of our personal accounts or the show account at ATGN Podcast your suggestions. And I will, if I remember correctly, I'll try and put like a Google form up for people to put suggestions in. I'll put that up on Twitter. And we'll put something together next week, and we'll spend some time about, hey, here's some suggestions from us, from people who consume our show, of things that you can do and where you go to watch this content. And realistically, we'll try and put it into some kind of Google Doc or something like that, maybe make a living doc that people can continue to update and add these links to, and we can keep sharing it each week and find more content for people to consume, as people are obviously struggling to find stuff to watch. Well, not struggling,
I'll
but
go
wanting
through.
to.
I'll go through what's on my PlayStation, because ever since I got that 4 terabyte external hard drive, I think I have 160 or 170 games downloaded to it currently. So I'll just go through the list. Not everyone's like full. Some of them are like indie, downloadable only, not full games. But I do have a lot of full games on there too. So I'll go through and look on there. I will say a little preview. I want to be talking about a deck building game for your console. I think it's also available for Xbox. I'm not 100% on
I
that.
have a deck building game for iOS and Android that I could bring up as well.
Ooh, I'm a little curious in that, unless I've already played it.
You probably have, because it's actually a pretty old game. It's put out by Fox. It's like their animation throwdown game where you build. Yeah.
I played it when it first came out, and I've also played. I tried to get back into it, but it didn't save any of my old decks. I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I had a pretty good Bob's Burger deck.
Nice. So next week, as we're just discussing this now, we're going to have the Cabin Fever playlist. We're going to go up there, and we're going to share some of this content that we've been watching. And it's not for us to shamelessly self-promote, though I will probably shamelessly self-promote to a limited extent. It's just a way to share things that we've been enjoying, to hopefully let you guys enjoy them as well, and give folks things to do so that they're not going stir crazy in their own home, because we all need to be doing the right thing and staying indoors, unless it's to go and get medicine or to go and get groceries or to go into work because you have to go to work. Other than that, stay home, stay out of the mess, and wash your damn hands. Well, that's next week. We'll get into the Cabin Fever playlists.
Yeah, wash your hands as I'm rubbing my eyes right now, right in it, getting there deep. I can't remember the last time I washed my hands.
Oh, well.
Oh, shit, that's the hand that touched my penis last. Damn it.
See, I didn't do it this time.
Willie's got dick in his eye.
What made the first time?
Oh, dear. That being
If
said,
no one else is going to do it, I might as well do it, right?
that being said, we
Or
are
I might as
doing
well do-
a bit of an extended episode now because, hey, I know I like enjoying social interaction, because while I enjoy hanging out with my wife, I also enjoy getting to talk to other people from time to time. So this is a great way to get to interact with some friends of mine and share different things that are going on, and also share with the folks who are in our chat room. So we will probably go long during the coronavirus issues.
Travis said Willie is cockeyed. Love it.
For you audio
Oh, there it is.
listeners,
Cockeyed
for you audio
Willie.
listeners, yeah.
Get a
Yeah, you should look
screenshot.
at there you
That
go.
needs to be our new thumbnail. Cockeyed Willie.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
I
Oh,
don't know
haven't
if I ever
laughed that
told you
hard
guys
this week,
this.
Drassman. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I needed that. Oh,
Here's a
that was
little-
good.
Here's a little tidbit trivia for me to get to know me a little bit better. I can do eye tricks, and I owe it all to those magic 3D, books, the 3D
Oh, yeah.
images things, where you can see a schooner. That's not a schooner. you
Schooner
dumb
is a
bastard.
sailboat, dumbass.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny is just a guy in a costume, whatever. Yeah, but I can always, those are what made me where I can just move my eyes. I can do eye tricks. My best one is ping pong.
Oh, my. Oh.
I'll do it for the after show when we're going to the after show.
Or
so
we can save it for the
listeners
Cabin
there.
Fever playlist. But regardless, we do need to start wrapping up the show. And those of you who have watched the show for a while or listened to it are probably aware that we end on a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you folks who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to check them out yourselves. Who'd like to go first?
I can go
I-
first and also
fair
mention
enough.
something in the chat room. Your Only God just mentioned that we can put the list up on the Discord server for Commie Gaming if we want and keep it there as a living document to where people can go in and add stuff.
We do also have a channel on the Gonna Geek Discord also at geeks.link/Discord. There is an All Things Good Nerdy channel in there.
There we go. We can
What
put
was
it up
that
on both.
channel? What was that channel she mentioned?
It's Commie Gaming, Kami. That's where Your Only God streams, and that's where I stream as well. We've actually both
Oh.
been streaming more, jumping in on her Apex. She does Apex every Tuesday and Friday, if I remember correctly.
Have you
Your
guys
Only God.
improved?
Yeah, if God
Cool.
will correct me if I got the times wrong, but yeah, I believe 7 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays. She always streams Apex Legends. I've been joining her lately. We had a couple of really good matches this Friday. I'm getting back on my streaming game and going to be streaming some more Dead by Daylight and trying to decide what.
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently trying to get back.
Keyword.
I'm trying to figure out a schedule, which I haven't done that yet, but I'm working on
I
doing
believe
that.
in
And then there's like so many new games dropped in my system. Like I might just start doing some run throughs just for the fun of it, because like I got the new Norse God of War. Still haven't played it, so like that would be one like I could just play for like 8 hours straight one Saturday. They just did an update to the War Master edition of the first Darksiders game. So I have that and the update. They did another update for the definitive edition to Darksiders 2 where you play as Death. So I might run through both of those games as well, because like
What updates did they do?
I don't know, because I don't think I ever bought the first one, but I had a thing in the PlayStation 4 store saying that I had an update to the definitive edition of Darksiders 2, because I bought the game where you play as Death, the second game, but
All right,
then it
here's
gave me the entire first game.
All right, so here's a little trick for you. I think I told you this once before. If you ever want to know what, if you see a game that has an update and you want to know what it did, you can always go scroll over to it, and when it's just highlighted, you can press the options button, scroll down to check updates, I think it is, or update history, and
it'll
pull
tell
up a
you
thing.
what-
It'll tell you
Yeah, on most games,
the developer notes.
Yeah, some of the games like Apex Legends, it will tell you to go look at the developer's website if they don't actually provide those notes to the PlayStation Network. Games like Dead by Daylight, you can go in there and you can read word for word everything that's in the note. It depends on the game and the developer. But yeah, so I've got those. I got the whole Uncharted. I got all three of the BioShock games. I haven't played any of those. I just did the interesting The Last of Us. So like I have got a bunch of games where I literally like I'm about to finish Jedi Fallen Order, and so I'm about to start something else. And I'm just maybe I'll put it up for like a Twitch or a Twitter poll or something of what I should play next, and just do a full run through on one of those. But yeah, so got a whole bunch of games I'll be playing as I continue to try to finish off the Apex Legends Battle Pass which I think on that I'm at like level 60 or 70,
Out
and
of-
that's got over a month left, over out of 110. So like that one I always get done. That was no worries. But yeah, I'm falling back behind again a little bit because the last week or so kind of sucked. So I'm a little behind on Dead by Daylight. I think I'm at like 32 or 34. That one goes to 70. So I'm past 35. I know I'm past the halfway mark, but I think we only got like 10 days left. So I'm going to have to be joining Willie for some games, getting some Survivor in. I tried to do a couple killer matches last night, and man, I just could not stop getting dunked on trying to get Iridescence. I'm a rank 12 killer, and I kept getting paired up with fucking 1s and 2s and 3s, and they were just whooping my ass.
Man,
I could not catch them.
stop, man. The ranks don't matter. It's how your play style. Your play style versus the killer's play style or the
And
survivors. That's
their
what
play
matters.
style was dunking on my hag, dunking on my doctor. I could not catch their asses. I kept getting looped like a motherfucker. I'm still not great at busting some loop. So yeah, I was getting whooped on last night. So yeah, after about 4 or 5 games, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go watch a movie because this is not fun. But yeah, I'll be back working on that, trying to get through the archives. So yeah, it's getting those battle passes done, man. When you got 2 games that are both running a battle pass at the same time, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, I'll be doing some more Dead by Daylight, doing some more Apex this week. And yeah, I'll be Twitch streaming on Bach 2099 over on Twitch as part of Kami Gaming, KAMI. So that's what I've been getting into.
I need you to tell me for real, because I want to watch this when you start those Naughty Dog games. I know you're gonna love all of them, the Uncharted and Last of Us.
Okay.
The developers Naughty Dog. You're gonna love those, guaranteed.
Thanks, Neil. Is it Witty for the comment about the beard? Yeah, kind of been letting it go, getting a little thickness there. He also sent me an awesome picture. The ultimate and irony. Outside of his town, they set up a one of the fake towns that they're going to be using for the new filming of The Stand, and then they had to shut down production because we're in an epidemic. So the movie about an epidemic got shut down by an epidemic. That's just funny.
Was the book was that like based in like a not too distant future? Like, did they give a year?
No, I'm not sure if.
Or is it
give a
contemporary?
year. I think at the time when he wrote it, it was contemporary. I think it was supposed to be like 1987 when the book first came out. He wrote it that it was happening like that day. And so, yeah, I don't think it had any actual dates in The Stand. It's just supposed to be right now, this is happening today. And then the virus spreads across America.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't believe it was set in any type of future. And I don't think in the TV show they did it in any type of future either. It was just contemporary at the time of filming.
Miniseries.
Yeah, miniseries on CBS
So-
or ABC, whichever it was.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes and we'll tweet it out right now. But the simplest way we'll start capturing this stuff right now, there's a short link in our chat room, bit.ly/ATGN Cabin Fever. All caps for ATGN, and the C and F are also capitalized. That is a living Google Doc that anyone can edit and modify to go and put some of your suggestions for our Cabin Fever playlist. And really all we're looking for, what it is, where do I find it online, and who recommended it to us. Now, all of you guys are listening or watching right now, we trust you guys. It's an open Google Doc, so theoretically someone could go in there and hit Control-A and delete it, but we can recover it through the history. Just don't be dicks, that's all.
Chris,
Yes.
have you not learned anything from my Jackbox streaming?
Yes, but we have a breed of fans that I think, or listeners that I think are a bit more trustworthy.
They listen to us. How trustworthy can they be?
All right, fair point.
I added the first item.
There are dozens of them. Dozen. So who's next?
There are 11s. There's
11s.
11s of them.
Is that from something? No, I'm not getting. Or did you just make that up? Because I'll
I'm
do
just
like
making-
11s.
just making-
Oh, I like that. Good
I'm just making
job,
it up.
man.
All right, I'm going to go
The way
next.
Chris followed up made me think that.
I'm going to go next with what I've been getting into. I started watching Avenue 5 on HBO Go, which is the Hugh Laurie space comedy thing that's written by one of the writers of Veep. I'm only like an episode and a half in, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's Hugh Laurie. I'll watch him in just about anything, though. Like I mentioned to Willie, I'm thinking about picking up Animal Crossing. I saw AC on my notes and went Assassin's Creed, not Animal Crossing. Thinking about picking
Animal
up
Breed or Assassin's Crossing.
I'm gonna warn you. Does this seem like something your significant other might also enjoy from
yes,
what you've
she
seen?
was also talking about getting it too, which is part of why I was
Has she
considering.
ever played any of the other ones?
No.
Oh, okay, just curious. Yeah, this you might have to pick up too, because you said you have a normal Switch and she has a Switch Lite, right?
We both have normal Switches, but it's the
Okay,
Gen 2
okay.
Switches.
Yeah.
So
did.
we'll probably both
followed
just
suit.
buy it digitally, in all honesty, because I don't want to have to go out in the world and find cartridge right now.
Yeah, I still don't have extra memory for my Switch, so that should tell you something that fit in there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I've got a 256 gig memory card in mine right now. I download a bunch of games for it.
You remember when the Wii used blocks instead of actual measurements?
Right.
So, what is wrong with Nintendo?
Some other stuff I've been getting into. Let me talk professional wrestling a second. You guys might have seen that most sports and stuff are shut down. CDC guidance is not to have more than 50 people in one place at a time. So it really surprised me that they did this. Wednesday night, they did a brand new live episode of AEW Dynamite, which is their wrestling production. They had
Hell
only
yeah.
50 people in total in the arena. It was an empty arena. But instead of having just empty seats, they had the wrestlers would normally be in the back, sitting out in the arena as the crowd for the show they put on, which was a ton of fun. But again, pretty empty arena. They redid the staging a little bit so that the cameras, they didn't need as many cameras, and it gave good angles. And they put on a hell of a fun 2-hour live show. And it was something that I wasn't expecting, because like I don't know how they're going to pull this off. And like WWE had been showing like tape replays of things from WrestleMania and stuff on Raw, stuff like that. Willie, go ahead. You're thinking something.
Like, how are you surprised that they put on a good show? You say this every time about them. Oh, they put on a great show. Like,
because
surprised.
Without a crowd, professional wrestling
Yeah.
is in a completely different beast, because a lot of what you do is designed to make the crowd pop and to make the crowd react. So they're putting on a
Yeah.
completely different kind of show here by
It's
having no crowd.
storytelling with an instant response, kind of like stand-up comedy, where a comedian can gauge which direction to go with what they're saying, depending on the audience's response. Wrestlers do the exact same thing with their acting, to where if something hits with the crowd, they'll keep going that direction. And so not having crowd participation as an actor/athlete does make their job harder. But like Dustin Rhodes put out on Twitter, he's like, I don't care who's in the audience. If it's one person, if you're performing for the cameraman, you do your fucking job and you put on a show. And honestly, as an old school wrestling fan, seeing all the wrestlers around the ring, it just makes me feel like every match is a lumberjack match.
Yeah, right. so they literally
Why
had
can't those
like
be in the games?
they had the seats set up like if there were fans that were going to be there, and they had the wrestlers from backstage sitting there. And one of my favorite wrestlers they've got right now is MJF, and he's like a great cocky heel character, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, but he goes by MJF.
Yeah. Is
And-
the dude with the scarf.
Yeah, he always wears a Burberry scarf, but he started like placing bets with one of the other guys at ringside, trying to figure out who. I mean, we all know professional wrestling's fake, but in character, they were placing bets as to who was going to win, who wasn't. And like one of the interview guys came up and was talking to him, and as they're cutting away from the interview, he goes, "Hey, you want to put some money down on this or something like that?" And it was just hilarious. There were lots of cool little moments. They put on a 2-hour live show that was just fun, unexpected. And you went, oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on right now, but you gave us a great break. And they had 2 new wrestlers debut this week. One of which was they finally debuted the Exalted One, who was the leader of the Dark Order, which was not Matt Hardy like everyone thought. And everyone went, oh, okay, they're only going to give us one guy debuting this week. And then at the end of the show, when Chris Jericho's Inner Circle had persevered over the Elite and they'd won an advantage for next week's or for the Blood and Guts event when they do it, they finally said, no, we're not alone. We've got help coming. And you see this drone come out of the sky. And this drone hovers over the ring, lands in the middle of the ring. And if you have been watching Free the Delete and are aware of the broken Matt Hardy character, you know this is a drone by the name of Vanguard 1. And literally they go, no, we've got help. The drone lands and you hear piano music start playing that is known as Broken Matt Hardy's entrance. And the camera just pans to the back of the arena and you see Matt Hardy standing in the back just with his arms spread and then starts doing the delete gesture. And all I could think was, I am freaking out in my home. I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. They get a huge pop out of me. I cannot imagine what the arena would have been like. They would have blown the roof off that place with Matt
Okay,
Hardy
I get it.
Yeah.
debut.
I get it. It's like without the crowd, it's kind of like watching Saved by the Bell without the live studio audience reactions. Those are air quotes I just put up for you audio listeners.
Yeah, kind of.
So they debuted 2 characters, one of which was a surprise out of. I mean, we expected Matt Hardy was going to AEW, but you didn't expect him to debut after they debuted another guy right before it. They pulled it off. It was fantastic. The crowd popped huge. Well, not the crowd, but the crowd who was watching live popped huge. He was trending on Twitter. Everyone was agog over it. He then did an interview with Chris Jericho for the Talk is Jericho podcast and it's a fantastic interview. He's not in character. It's just Matt Hardy talking about the creation of the character and why he ended up coming to AEW and what the original debut was. Because since it was an empty arena, they could actually fly the drone inside. Had there been a crowd, they were going to have his appearance be slightly different, where you would see the drone like outside the arena, and then it would pan to like the shot of Matt Hardy walking up behind it, and then they would do something inside. But I think what they did was much more powerful from a reaction standpoint by having the drone in the arena and then him in the back going nuts.
Yeah, because they had to worry about accidentally dropping out an audience betterer.
Right. Yeah. So it was a well done debut. I had a ton of fun with it. I geeked out, and I was like, this is a nice break from everything that's going on. And I don't know how many of those we're going to get. Supposedly WWE's filming a bunch of stuff in the Performance Center right now to cover the next few SmackDowns and Raws. They're going to turn WrestleMania into a 2-night event in an empty arena. I guess they're going to stream it. So there will be content like this, but not quite the same feel. And we're going to run into some time here where all of the TV shows we're enjoying, none of them really finished their season of production. Most of them have been shut down. We're going to hit a period where we're lacking for new content.
The dead zone.
So just enjoy it while you can. I will give them credit while they were doing Dynamite. They made a big point of saying on the next Dynamite, not next week, because they don't know if they'll be able to do it again next week or not. Currently, they are planning on doing another live show on Wednesday night, but if things change in the country and say there's a national lockdown ordered or something like that, I don't know that there is. This is just a hypothetical, mind you.
When you say national lockdown, you mean like you can't travel
Shelter
outside
in place
of your
order.
state?
You're not supposed to leave your house unless it's to go
Okay.
to pharmacy. Pretty much the only things open would be pharmacies and drugstores. And grocery stores.
Grocery
Excuse me.
stores.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. That's
I need to go get
that's a
another pallet of
possibility.
ramen.
Yeah. So that's a possibility of things. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. But they have to plan for the fact that they may not be able to do a show next week. So they made a point of saying on the next Dynamite instead of saying next week. And Tony Khan did do a Q&A on Twitter where he said their Blood and Guts event that was supposed to be next week, they're postponing that until a time they can actually do it properly.
And yeah, Chris, you reminded me of 2 things. I did watch all the Free to Delete videos. Thank you for pointing those out to me because those were awesome. And the best one ever is there's a blooper video of Matt Hardy's boys kicking the crap out of him. And like his oldest son is only what, like 4?
4, I think. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old beating up Matt Hardy. It is hilarious because he's selling drop kicks from a 4-year-old. Like, it's one of the cutest things I've ever seen.
And his kids are having so much fun with it, too.
Oh, yeah, and they're loving it. They're knocking Dad around, and, like, he's acting like he's getting the crap beat out of him by Hulk Hogan. It's so cool. But also, because of, like, the lockdown stuff, we've had updates to movies that were premiered in the theaters now being dropped on VOD. On YouTube's top picks for YouTube movies, The Invisible Man 2020 and The Hunt both just went available. You can rent them on YouTube. So they're probably available on Vudu or wherever else as well. But yeah, if there's movies that you were thinking about looking and going and seeing in the theater, go check whatever your favorite streaming service, the favorite place you rent videos online. Check Google, check the Play Store, check your iTunes, because there's going to be a bunch of stuff that wasn't doing well in the theaters that now the company's like, screw it, give it to them at home. And so a bunch of stuff just got dropped on VOD.
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to say thank you to the movie industry for, kind of doing this. I think this is awesome that they're doing this. Would not expect them to do this at all.
And you did see also Pixar's Onward dropped this week too, and then hits Disney Plus like April 3rd.
And in a weird roundabout way, it's helping me win the Fantasy Movie League.
I forgot I keep forgetting to put my picks in.
Well, you don't have to put picks in because they did week 1 and I won week 1, and then we did week 2 and I won week 2, and then when I went to try to set my lineup for week 3, the Fantasy Movie League is on pause. They have stopped updating it and they aren't doing any projections, which I don't understand because like the projections will still happen. Just some of these movies only may make $10. but like we could still pick. But anyways, it's on pause. So right now we're going into week 4, and I've won every week so far.
All right, I'm going to set Chris up here with a layup.
All right, go for it.
So I saw a tweet you said earlier this week where you were asking a question to a company, Regal.
Yes.
They said they were closing down their theaters. What is it, Thursday? I think it was starting, or
I thought it was
Wednesday?
Tuesday night or Wednesday.
Oh,
night.
Tuesday.
They
Okay,
closed down.
sometime this past week. And then you asked a great question. Did you ever get an answer to what does this say? What does this do for your Regal Unlimited?
My
Are you pausing?
understanding from what I saw in the
Oh.
Regal Unlimited subreddit was that if you try and bring it up in the app, it is marked as suspended now. So there's no way to use it. From what folks have said, you could call in if you're on a month-to-month plan and have them suspend it, but I think they've done it all automatically, and I paid a year in advance. My understanding from what they said on the Regal Unlimited site is they would just credit you more months when it's all said and done.
I really
That
hope
makes
the
sense.
month is automatically suspended, because if they don't, where you have to call that's shady.
Well,
I'm sorry.
bear
If
in mind,
that is.
Yeah, but this is also the same company that, according to the Regal Unlimited subreddit, also fired everyone after they shut down all the theaters. All of the theater staff and stuff were laid off,
Like in every theater they have?
supposedly.
Yikes.
Oof.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know. I
so-
haven't actually checked our local Fandango. I know it was marked down for a while, but I don't know right now if I could even go get tickets anywhere at our local theaters.
If you pull up Regal Unlimited right now, I see
Doing it
account
right now.
temporarily frozen, and then it says your account will not be charged while theaters are closed. So that is what it says right now on my Regal Unlimited app, and there we go, it focused.
Oh, okay. I want to say it. Where did you pull that up? Because when I pulled
if
it
you
up,
pull up your card, if you go and open the app and hit
Okay.
the Regal Crown Club button, it should bring up your card, and it will say that.
God, I forgot how to get to my. Oh, there it is.
This is funny. My local Regal, the only movie showing that's listed is Clueless 25th Anniversary, one showing at 4 p.m.
But they're not even
Oh.
open. Regal shut
Yeah,
down
I
all of
know.
them, so it's
But
probably
it
something that was
show-
just
it's-
left in the
yeah.
system.
All right, I see you. I see where you're
It
talking
shows
about.
one
I see
movie
it.
showing.
Yeah, account temporarily frozen. Yeah, you were right. Huh. Yeah, when I pulled it up, it instantly took me to the now playing. It said, having trouble loading movies. Do you want to
Same
retry
here.
loading? Yeah, I was like, oh, wish they would have put something different. Like, yeah, you can't.
So Draftsman in the chat room says, guys, this might signal the return of the drive-in theater. That would be cool, but you'd have to be able to set it up
Actually,
and then keep
We
cars
have a
6
drive-in-
feet apart.
I did see on Reddit someone did post up it was like an article saying that drive-in theaters are getting a boost.
We have a drive-in theater in Caldwell, 2 towns over from me. I wonder
if
how they're
still
doing.
open.
And did get this. I just got this news from Facebook. A buddy of mine posted this news article. Kroger offering full sick pay and cash bonus to employees working during COVID-19 crisis. Good for you, Kroger.
Nice.
They
Kroger
weren't
is a grocery store.
They weren't originally, and were getting run the F over. by
Oh,
the press
I didn't
was
know
the
that
problem.
part.
Yeah, at one point in time, once it became known they weren't, they offered everyone a $25 gift card. That was what they did to everyone. And then they have now moved to this stance. So you can see the
$25
evolution.
Gift card to Kroger.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So literally it cost them nothing. So this is an evolution in their better behavior towards those folks. And if you are someone who is out of a job right now, I have seen, at least locally, Kroger, Aldi, Walmart, they're all hiring because they need people so badly to restock the shelves and things like that. So while it is not full-time employment, it is employment in the short term. And I did see that Aldi was offering like an extra $2 per hour on their regular hourly wage for everyone they're hiring right now because they need people so bad to help restock and resupply things.
And I checked my local drive-in because of the weather in Idaho. It closes through March for the 2019 season. So they're looking to open April 2020 for the 2020 season. So, yeah, I might have a drive-in theater to go to starting next month. Yeah, that's a good call. Drive-in theaters.
good
if you're
call,
alone in your
Draftsman.
car. Yeah, if you're alone in your car.
Yeah. So that's what I've been getting into. Willie, what you been getting into, buddy?
all right. Let me light up another cigarette while I get into what happened this week.
He's getting into
it's
giving
been a
himself a
bad
little
week.
cancer.
Is he going to start
I've had
singing
a
Rocket
lot.
Man?
I'm a rocket man. Yeah, no. So this week's been a bad week. Although it looks like my luck's changing because the last 4 times I reached into that gummy bear bag, I got cherry, and we all know cherry's the best flavor. But earlier in the week, so I've already mentioned the gout flared up. I couldn't really get out that much. I ran out of cigarettes Thursday night. No, wait, Wednesday night. And I could not get out to get more. It was terrible. But luckily, someone dropped by. Oh, my mom dropped by and brought me some cigarettes. It was very nice of her. Friday. On top of all that, since I was talking about make sure, the bathe, not being able to bathe properly earlier, I tried to take a shower yesterday morning, and for some reason, I had no hot water. I could not figure it out.
Ooh.
It has been, I guess, something was hooked up to it from where, because I'm technically above a garage, and they just had a wedding Friday, coronavirus be damned, right outside here. So I'm guessing it's something they had hooked up, man, have been using, I'm guessing. But
I can't wait to start my life with you so much. I'm willing to risk my life with you.
Right?
till death do us part, which is soon.
In sickness or in health. There you go.
In sickness or in sickness.
Or in plague.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, I forget what day this happened, but my sink in my kitchen right there, what's that little, does it have a name, the little nozzle that pulls out and sinks? You
The
know what I'm
plunger?
talking about? No, like the little spray thing. Little spray.
Oh, the spray nozzle. It's just a nozzle.
Does it have a name?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's
a
called
nozzle.
the head of it broke off. Like it just
Oh,
pulled
shit.
off.
Oh,
I'm like
jeez.
it never felt like too secure anyway, but I mean, now it's off of it, and now anytime I turn the water on, it comes out of there and not the faucet. And it
Yikes.
fell, and that thing fell through the hole that I was resting on because the,
Well, yeah,
the
because it's
head's
got
not
the
on.
pullback. on
Yeah.
It's
it.
got to wait on it to bring it back.
Yeah, with the head, or it was just weighted itself. So I pulled it out, and I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, nope. Because I turned on the water to see if it came out. Nope, didn't come out the faucet. It's leaking underneath the cabinet. Great. So I pulled it out. So I got that sticking out from underneath the cabinet, wrenched into its gravity. It's been a weird week. And then on top of that, so I can't really use my faucet. I can use it. I can pull that thing up, but when I put it back down, of course, water keeps seeping out of it because, it can't go further into the hose itself until it comes out. And then on top of that, not the plunger, the flusher on my toilet broke. Like the plastic piece on the inside of it, the lever broke.
At least that's an easy repair.
Yeah,
I've
it's easy
replaced
fix.
those. Yeah.
Like the plastic just broke off. Like
That is,
So I
that
had
is the thing that sucks about maintaining your own place. Where, like, when you don't live in an apartment where you can just call maintenance and say, "Hey, come fix this." When you have to learn how to do it yourself, it is kind of a pain in the butt, but you can learn stuff. Yeah, I've replaced the plunger in a toilet like 2 or 3 times. I've had to whenever I move into a place, the first thing I do is replace the faucets on the shower heads, because one of the first things I learned was getting one of those nice extended arms gets the shower head up above me at 6'1", and most of them are set at like 5'10". So yeah, those little things you learn when you want to update your own place. But yeah, it's a good skill to learn if you can replace that plunger. I mean, YouTube video, dude, and a $10 thing from Home Depot, you'll be good to go. They're simple.
Yeah, but I'm not a homeowner. I'd have a landlord.
But does he actually do maintenance, or do you do it yourself?
I mean, he'd either probably try to, or he'd get a friend to do it because he has a lot of friends that are handymen.
I'd say try to
But,
do it yourself. I bet you could do it.
Yeah, but why spend my money when he can spend his money? Even if $10, I mean, I can use the $10 for something else.
True enough. I guess that is what, like 1 pack of cigarettes these days?
No, I'm in North Carolina. No. Packing 7/10.
Jesus.
I'm in North Carolina. They're not that expensive. Like when we did the C2E2 thing, was that 4 years ago?
4 years
Was it
ago.
2016? Yeah. I bought a carton of cigarettes to take with me.
Probably a smart move.
Oh yeah. I think I wanted. I can't remember if I asked him like, so how much is a pack of cigarettes up here? I can't remember that answer. But yeah. So I also got a fix or my friend helped me out yesterday when she came over for the fix for the plunger. We tried a shoestring first, but that was just getting waterlogged and it was kind of dripping water from the other side. And then so she had the bright idea of like pulling apart like a shopping bag, like a grocery store bag, in half, and kind of using that lengthwise and just wrapping it around the thing. And you just open it up a little bit, pull it, you're good.
Problem
And-
solved.
Yeah, I might just keep that normally until I move out. I don't need a fix for that. I'm kidding.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
Whatever works. As
And
long
yeah,
as it can flush.
yeah, and I've been quarantined inside this place since Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, Thursday is when it really came in. So yeah, so I haven't really been getting out. And now I'm a little curious because I actually have a doctor's appointment coming up on the 31st. I don't know if that's still going to be in effect or not.
My dentist
When-
canceled my appointment on April 2nd, and I'm pretty sure
I'd
my
say, yeah.
doctor is going to cancel mine that I have like the second week in April.
Yeah, you'll want to check with their office because like my dentist pulled back on the amount of appointments they had. So I got my first cleaning done and a cavity filled that I had scheduled, and they had put in restrictions. And then I think roughly 4 days after I went in, they sent an email out saying that they were closing down completely for 2 weeks and canceled all appointments. So check with your doctor before you go in there because they may just be closed.
Well, I'm not sure because technically my doctor is a rheumatologist, so it's not really they're not really check. There's nothing like physical they really have to do to you because it's for my gout.
Yeah, but
the
it's still
joint
people
there.
coming in a
Yeah.
waiting room and staff in an office. So a lot of those
Oh,
places
yeah.
are closing just to not have to worry about it at all.
Oh yeah, I would understand fully. I'm just
Yeah.
not sure. Like I can see that going either way. Usually they give me a call a day or two beforehand. I might call up there tomorrow just to see, like, hey, I got an appointment for next week. Is that still on? You know how it goes. Yeah, but been playing Dead by Daylight. Got up to tier 59 in the battle pass. There's out of 70, so only got 11 to go. I think this is doable. I've completed every single survivor and where it's either survivor or killer challenge. I've completed all those. Now I just have killer challenges left. Most of those are just time consuming. Like earn this many gold or iridescent emblems in this category. Like, oh god.
Yeah, I think I just finished my iridescence last night. I need to close 2 hatches as a killer now, which that's just play games
Yeah.
till it
it's
happens.
it's gonna happen. But yeah, so I'm that far, and I think it is reasonable that I can finish within the last 10 days that's left. I think I'm pretty sure I can get up to tier 70 and finish it out for what I couldn't do last time and was very saddened by it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think last time I had to buy the last 20 levels, so I made it to 50 last time. So I guess my goal this time is just to get past that.
Yeah, what happened to you, man? You were ahead of me too by a large margin, and then all of a sudden, apparently I shot past you by a good 25 levels.
Yeah, playing a lot of Apex. I got almost done with Jedi Fallen Order, and then like doing other stuff.
And I tried to, or I didn't try. I did start my copy of Weekend at Bernie's. I found at the $5 bin in Best Buy a couple weeks ago. Things got in the way where I couldn't really pay attention to it and watch it, so I was like, all right, I'll finish this later or sometime later. No, not what you're thinking, probably. But yeah, I do need to go back because Weekend at Bernie's. It's Weekend at Bernie's. You got Bernie Lomax up there, you know. Oh, you know it.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, Animal Crossing. And then Monday night had some friends come over because I don't think we have really any big scares here, and all of us kind of stay clean. We're not a Smash Brothers tournament. So, one of my friends that came over is a nurse, and she did say that they have no testing for corona at their hospital.
Well, that's
So-
because the testing isn't done. Well, it might be changing as things are now, but it was all going to like central points in states to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, she said that their hospital they don't have anything. But yeah, I'm still feeling fine. I think all of us, like I said, all my friends, we all stay clean. Yeah, we played some Jackbox. Played through went through a bunch of different packs. Jackbox, You're still awesome, and I will continue to support you. Just let me know when Jackbox Party Pack number 7 comes out. I'll be on that dick. I can't think of anything else. So, I've been continually baking more muffins from scratch because that's just fun.
What kind of muffins?
I still had some mixed berries frozen in the freezer. So I've been just putting those in there.
How delightful!
It is very delightful. And that's what I've been getting into.
Well, sounds like everyone's been keeping busy.
Chris, a little update for AEW Elite. Cody Rhodes joined one of those get a cell phone community max testing thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were on it or not.
Yep.
Anybody that wants to join it and join his list, 1-404-737-2083. And he just announced on AEW Wednesday, March 25th, Cody Rhodes versus Jimmy Havoc. So they are announcing matches for March 25th.
It is also...
So it looks like...
The what? The phone what?
It's like a cell phone number, and you join like a community for max testing. A lot of comedians are doing texting. A lot of comedians are doing it because it's not their actual cell phone number, but it's a cell phone number. And what it happens is they can send a max text to everybody that's in the community, but then like specifically, like I follow Whitney Cummings on hers. So like if she's gonna do a show here live in Boise at Liquid, she can just text the people that live in Idaho and send them a link that says, "Hey, I'm gonna be here on this date. Come see the show." And so it's kind of a cool thing to where like the guy I can't think of his name on Supernatural that plays the angel. He's been doing one, Misha, and he's been texting photos like from the set as they're filming the last season of Supernatural of like him and the guys like being stupid and behind the scenes stuff. Like it's kind of cool.
The Young Bucks also have one too.
Young Bucks got one? Nice.
Young Bucks got one. And they did also announce, assuming there is a Dynamite on Wednesday, it will also be Chris Jericho versus Broken Matt Hardy as one of the events.
And you actually did just remind me, too, something I forgot. I was supposed to go see Friday night, but he canceled the show because of all this. I was supposed to go see Brian Posehn at Good Nights in Raleigh, which, you know what? That would have been entertaining. I'm kind of curious.
He's funny.
I know we look like twins. I know that. I just love his voice.
That being said, it is time for us to start shutting this thing down. We did get about, 2 hours in, I think, when it's all said and done. We went back to the old school days of early ATGN where we get
hey.
cut.
People are in quarantine, man. They need their entertainment, and we're here to provide it, man. We're here to get you. We're your pusher, man. We're your pusher, man. What kind of drug you want? You want this comedy? I got that drug comedy. We're going to give it to you. We're going to shove it down your throat. I mean, your ear hole. Sorry, I messed up. And would you look at this? Another cherry. My luck is turning.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, guys, we are going to start shutting this down. Before we do, a friendly reminder, we are going to do this live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live. So you'll be able to find us there. We'll be able to provide you some kind of entertainment as things progress. Don't forget, there is other live content on the Gonna Geek Network. If you go to geeks.live, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page. There is a calendar there of all of the upcoming live events that are coming up. So please come check out some of their live shows. Pop in. Let some of our creators know that you're enjoying the content as we try to continue things business as usual, providing content to hopefully entertain folks. It's our hope, at least. I mean, importantly, guys, wash your hands, be safe, do the intelligent thing out there. If you don't have to go out, don't go out.
And don't use condoms.
Wash your ass, too.
Don't use condoms.
Do whatever your conscience dictates in that regard. But in all seriousness, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. We hope that everyone who's watching this show or listening to this show, hopefully none of you get afflicted with the coronavirus. And if you do, please isolate yourselves and get the proper medical treatment.
Indeed.
If you guys are bored, you need content, or you just need to reach out to folks because you're going stir crazy in the house. I don't know about these other guys, but hey, we're all on Twitter. Send us a message. We'll be happy to trade some tweets back and forth, screw around, tell some dumb jokes, stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
We're here for you guys. We're here for everyone.
I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, I've got to go into work, but work is slow right now because no one's there. So I've got the time to trade some tweets here and there, I wager, during the day. Seriously, though, if you guys are struggling, feeling like you're isolated, need folks to talk to, reach out. We're happy to do it.
Hell yes.
We've got all sorts of dumb, stupid, corny jokes, or at the very least, we can suggest to you some dumb, stupid, corny jokes you can find on the internet to read.
I can drop 20 tweets on you about why Willie is wrong about Man of Steel. Like, that'll keep you busy for plenty of time.
Right?
I'm sorry I enjoyed something. Yeah, I guess I'm a terrible person for it.
It's true. It is. He's a terrible person. He enjoys a terrible
And
movie.
don't
Was
forget,
Henry Cavill a good Superman? Can you deny that?
he was a very good Superman.
He was good.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
what I
he could-
enjoyed the most about it.
Now, as
Could
we're
have been
shutting,
much better if he was allowed to be.
yeah, fair. As
Fair.
we're shutting this down, don't forget next week we want to dive into what we're calling the Cabin Fever playlist. So if you have some suggestions for things that should go on there, you can tweet any one of us. You can tweet at the show account, or you can go to bit.ly/ATGN Cabin Fever, where ATGN is capitalized and the first letter of Cabin and Fever both capitalized as well. We'll put it in the show notes. We'll tweet it out.
Starting a notepad now.
Please add stuff to your list. We'll continue adding to it. It'll be a living thing, and then we can continue to share with you guys some stuff that can entertain you. I mean, other than our content, of course, because this is flawless and everyone wants to consume this, I assume.
Something like that.
Something like that. So before we shut this thing down, you guys got any final thoughts for our folks who are watching live or listening later?
Stay safe. Stay at home.
Two things. Preview. Next week, I'm going to be bringing back Prospector Willie.
No.
Come back
No.
and see that.
No. Gonna put the kibosh on that
And second
right now.
thing is, she said, "Tell me no lines and wash your hands for yourself."
What are that, South Carolina satellites?
I honestly don't know.
North Carolina satellites.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us
North.
this week for this episode of ATGN. And please come back next week. And in the interim, stay safe. Wash your hands. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gunnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gunnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.